Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is a story about what if Naruto becomes Daimyo of Whirlpool. Before I start, please support for more amazing content and do consider subscribing to my channel and share this video with your friends. This is written by Baddazz Writer and link in description and support writer. Let's start the video. Lost and found. Naruto Uzumaki, the council has decided for you to be banished, said Danzo with a truly wicked smile. Naruto looked at the council with disbelief, he couldn't believe it. He just took down Pain and brought back Sasuke and not mention the other shit he done to save their sorry asses. Naruto looked over at Tsunade, she was crying, her favorite ninja was being banished and she couldn't do a thing. Almost everyone in village was angry for him going 8 tails in his fight with Pain, and then there was the people who still thought of Sasuke's greatness and didn't like way he brought him back. He knew the reason why they wanted him to leave the village, but he wanted to hear it from them, so he rubbed his temples and asked, "May I know the reason why I being kicked out on my ass?" Danzo smiled another wicked smile, "Well, I guess you deserve that. Naruto, you're being banished for using the 9 tails fox power and going into 8 tails, also for bring back an important prisoner, Sasuke Uchiha, back hurt the way you did." Naruto, now furious, decided tell the council what was on his mind, "You're banishing me for saving you asses and bringing back Sasuke back hurt. Haha. I think I'm going mad. I can't believe this shit, he betrayed you guys and was about to go to Akatsuki." The council started shouting insults at Naruto. Then Danzo stood, "No matter what you think, we have spoken. The council gives you 3 days and then you have to leave here, and if we catch you back here we will not hesitate to kill you." Naruto got up from his seat and left the council room in shock. Elsewhere. "Daimyo, we have found the boy you wanted and we thought you liked to know when we were spying on him, we found out he was banished and given 3 days before he has to leave," said an unknown ninja. The woman stood up and slammed her hands down on the wooded desk that she was now leaning over, "How dare they banish him?" She then calmed down, "Oh well, we found our next Uzukage, tell me how long it takes to get there." The unknown masked ninja said, "With the eyes and ears speed 1 day." The woman sat back in her chair, a smile played across her face, "Well, looks like we will go get him, get everyone ready, we leave in 2 days. "Yes, Daimyo." 3 days later with Naruto. Naruto looked at all his friends, all of Rookie 9, and their senseis, Team Guy, Tsunade, Shizune, Anko, Iruka, Ibiki and few villagers, stood at Konoha gates to say goodbye to him. Naruto looked around again and sighed, well, not everyone was there, Sakura and Sasuke wasn't there. Sasuke still was in the hospital, and Sakura told he was an irresponsible bastard for using the 8 tails of the fox's power. He walked up to everyone and begins to say goodbyes to each one personally. Tsunade was the last, "Abe-chan, I will always love you like a mother, but since there is no way I can be the Hokage, I will give you this necklace back." He handed her the green Hokage's necklace, which made her cry even more than she already had been. She pulled him into a hug, almost choking him to death. "Abe-chan, you're killing me," he mumbled, implanted between her large mounds. She pulled him out of her embrace and through her tears managed to say, "I told you not to call me that, you brat." Then she broke down crying, falling to her knees. Shizune ran to her side, tears also in her eyes, hugging Tsunade. "Boy, Naruto, hurry up, we don't have all day and I'm a busy woman, you know," someone shouted. Everyone looked around and right there outside the Konoha gates stood a woman with long dark red hair and a ponytail and 2 long bangs hanging down either side of her face. She wore short black spandex shorts and a blue miniskirt and a matching blue shirt that was so short that you could see her well-toned stomach, and it was a mystery just how she managed to keep her shirt from busting because her breast was as big as Tsunade, if not a bit bigger. Her blue eyes looked similar to Naruto's own. She had tattoo on her right arm of a dragon standing in a whirlpool. This woman also carried a sword resembling a wakizashi but a little longer. It was kept sheathed horizontally behind her lower back. Like Soifun on Bleach. Naruto looked at the woman who was waving frantically at him with a cheesy smile. "Hey Naruto, you know this troublesome woman," whispered Shikamaru. Naruto thought for a second and then shook his head no. Everyone then looked at the woman. Kakashi yelled, "Who the hell you are and what do you want with our ninja?" She stopped waving and smiled before saying, "You banished him so he is longer your ninja." Tsunade got up from the ground, now pissed off, and growled, "If you step over here you're dead." The woman took this as a challenge and so did ninja with her hiding in the shadows, so they jumped down from trees. In a quick second the woman was behind Naruto and hit him, knocking him unconscious, then before they could react she was back to where she stood at before. "Give back Naruto," they all said, preparing for battle. She smiled, shook her head no and said, "I want to thank you guys for at least treating him nicer than most, but I will take care of Naruto-kun now, Jana." Tiba came charging at her, but she disappeared in a swirl of water resembling a whirlpool. And so did the 10 ninjas with her. Tsunade, now angry and saddened like a mother who lost her firstborn, fainted. The next day with Naruto. The young blonde shinobi felt like his head was on fire as he sat up. He looked around, he was in a room 5 times as big as the one he had back in Konoha. He also noticed he was in a big bed and it was so soft that he could melt, but it was not his. He laid back down and tried to remember what happened and where he was. He laid in bed concentrating hard. Then it hit him. That's right, he got banished and then a weird lady knocked him out and must have brought him here. Just then the same lady walked in with 10 ninja-like people following her. But this time she had on daimyo robes over the outfit she wore yesterday. He immediately got angry. Why hell did bring me here, you old hag? What do you want with me? How dare you yell at the daimyo like that, yelled an orange-haired guy who just entered the room. The lady put her hand up and said, it's okay, Naruto, I will tell you everything if you calm down, she said in a very sweet voice. She yelled, but if you ever call me an old hag again I will kill you, Gaki. Naruto scared nodded his head, yes, that he understood. The daimyo came over and sat on the bed next to Naruto ruffling his hair. Where should I start? Well, I need someone to become Uzukage of my village hidden in the whirlpool. I would like you to become the next Uzukage of my village. Naruto eyes popped out his head, why would you want that? She smiled, well, I am daimyo of the land of Whirlpool, but acting as the hidden village's cage for a while now. Plus you are the only Uzumaki besides me left for the position. All the other Uzumakis are not even close to cage level. Naruto nodded at everything, then realizing what she said and screamed, Nani, you're an Uzumaki like me and they're more to the clan. She covers her ears then screams back, quit yelling so loud. Then before she could continue the orange-haired guy said, Daimyo, you mean he is the prince that our village has been missing? Why didn't you tell me? The guy then bowed in front of Naruto. The daimyo shrugged, well Shinji, I didn't want to get everyone excited if he wasn't alive or something. But back to explaining. Like I said, I am the daimyo of the land of Whirlpool, Lola Uzumaki, the younger sister of Kushina Uzumaki, your mother. And before you ask why I haven't come for you early, I will tell you. It's simple, our village, no matter of fact, the whole land of Whirlpool was under attack and when you were born I had just took control and was a kid. I also knew we couldn't afford to be attacked by other villages, so I pretend to be only one who survived the attack out of all people in the land of Whirlpool and told all the villages that I was only one to survive. I did this so we could build our damaged village back up without anyone knowing and so I could get stronger. But I also knew my sister was supposed to have a kid. So I went to tell my sister not to worry and Konoha Council told me that you and my sister and brother-in-law all died when the fox hit. I then faked my death, went back to my village, became the daimyo and temporary Uzukage. She took a break, but also for 8 years I went around training to become really strong. Then I came back to my village and last 8 years I've been focusing on making my land better. I also heard your name a couple times throughout my travels and had people look into it. I must say it wasn't easy, especially since a time I was trying to keep a low profile. Needless to say I found you. So I plan to train you for a year and you will be ready to be the village's next cage. Naruto thought about everything then felt sad. He looked down and said, I love to, but I got the nine-tailed fox sealed into me and. All of the ninjas in the room got on their knees with Shinji and Shinji spoke, Prince, we all knew if you were alive that you have nine-tailed fox in you because of the info we got and so does the whole village, but we all still like you to be our Uzukage. Lola nodded as well, yay, so you're going to be the next Uzukage whether you like it or not. Naruto couldn't believe they would accept him just like that. Tears in his eyes, he jumps into Lola's arms taking her by surprise and hugging her. Thank you auntie, I'd be honored to be your Uzukage. Then Lola started to cry, you baka, it's not nice to make a woman cry. After they got their tears under control she said, well I got tell you all about the land of Whirlpool's history and your mother and father and the Uzumaki clan and its great bloodline. Konoha late in afternoon. The Hokage was a mess, she drank 18 bottles of sake and sent an Anbu team after the person who took Naruto, but Anbu reported back that they couldn't find not a trace of Naruto or the strange woman anywhere. All of Naruto's friends went into a depression stage and trained to the max all day. The most depressed friend of Naruto's was the Hyuga heiress. She finally had confessed to Naruto and he gets banished. She wished she could have gone with him. Then it hit her. She could leave the village. There was nothing here for her without Naruto, he was her world. Hinata knew she might never find him, but whether he was alive or dead, he wouldn't be allowed to come back to Konoha. That's it, she decided to leave the village and search for him. Later on that night Hinata hopped the Konoha gates and left unnoticed. She ran non-stop until she was sure if Anbu was sent after her, it'd take hours for them to catch up. So she took a quick break and camped out until early morning, then she took off again. Hinata was going to stop at the first village she saw, but as a member of a tracking team she knew that was asking to get caught. So when Hinata came upon the third village she stopped there. As she looked around the village her stomach growled. I guess I should get something to eat, she thought to herself. Hinata walked into she came upon a ramen shop. She smiled to herself, I guess ramen is good. After ordering a bowl of miso ramen she realized that she didn't bring any money. "How could I forget to bring some money?" she said out loud. The guy next to her heard what she said, and being a gentleman that he was, he said, "Since you ordered light and it's not that high, I will pay for it, miss." Hinata looked up at the guy talking to her with suspicion in her eyes. It's okay." He sighed, "No, it isn't, because the guy who cooked the ramen has to get paid and you don't have any money, you said it yourself." She nodded. "Well, thanks, mister." "Ryu the Silent Wolf," the man said. Hinata gasped when he told her his name. She heard it before. He was an assassin and from the rumors a great one. He looked at her shocked expression and said, "Don't judge a book by its cover. I'm not just a crazy assassin like you're thinking." Still scared of him, she nodded and then said, "Well, thanks anyways, Ryu, but now I owe you. Is there anything I can do for you?" Ryu shrugged. "If you really feel like you owe me, tell me what you're doing here in this dangerous place and why you have no money." Ryu watched her tense up and sensed she didn't want to talk about it. "Look, I'm an assassin. I have no reason to be disappointed or angry at anything you say." For some odd reason she felt like she could trust him, so Hinata ended up telling him everything about Naruto being banished and her leaving the village over ramen. He also told her little about himself, but it was just basic stuff. After both of them finished their ramen, Ryu said, "Hinata, if you don't have a place to stay, follow me." Hinata stared at the man, unsure if she should take his offer. She then noticed Ryu from the corner of her eye getting up from the stool, paying for both of their meals and walking away. Hinata quickly thought out her options. Her best bet was to follow this black-haired stranger. Hinata got up from the stool and followed. Chapter 2. What a surprise. 4 years later, everything had changed. The land of Whirlpool was known throughout all the element countries and doing well. "Yuzukage-sama, I am here to report my mission," said a tall woman with long brown hair. The Yuzukage turned around to face the woman and smiled. "Mazurka, how did it go? Did you find out where that missing nin went?" "Hi, Yuzukage-sama," said Mazurka, and she handed him her report. He smiled at the report. "Looks like she tortured another one," he said to himself. "Thank you, you may go." "Hi, Yuzukage-sama," she turned and left. The Yuzukage started to sit down and relax in his chair when in came his obnoxiously Daimyo. "What do you want, Daimyo?" "Don't you, what do you want me, Naruto?" shouted the Daimyo. "Okay, Daimyo, may I ask why you came to see me?" "Naruto, you know I hate when you call me Daimyo, call me by my name." Naruto chuckled. "Okay, Auntie Lola, what do you want?" She rolled her eyes. "Naruto, you promised to buy me sake because you lost the bet, now pay up," she whined. "Not now, I'm busy, come see me in 2 days, I should have time, but not now, Auntie, come back then and stop coming here for unimportant stuff." She sighed and said something under her breath and stomped out. Now finally being able to relax, he sat back in his chair and breathed in fresh air coming from his open window. He smiled to himself, remembering the year he became the Yuzukage and how he met up with his wife. He, Lola and Kyuubi just had wiped out a village that did nothing but rape and murder. And Naruto's now wife and her friend were assassins and had a job to kill 4 men at the same village. He laughed to himself when he remembered the look on their face when they saw the village on fire. They were pissed and out of the job, but it seemed that his auntie Lola knew the guy that was with his now wife and she begged them to come back to our village and be ninja here. Naruto couldn't help laugh again as he remembered his auntie gave the guy the job as her personal bodyguard. She didn't need one, but since she had crush on the guy, she gave him the job. Konoha. The blonde lady sat at her desk with her head down and papers stacked high on both sides of her and a bottle of sake. She heard a knock on her door and yelled, "Come in." In step 7 ninjas that she called for earlier. She sat up. "Kakashi, Anko, Kurenai, Hanabi, Shikamaru, Kiba and Sakura, I have a mission for you." "Is it going to be troublesome?" asked Shikamaru. "It could be. I need you to go to the newly reformed land of Whirlpool, where the village hidden in the whirlpool resides. I need you to get an alliance with the Yuzukage so that he can help us in this war we are in against Iwa, Odo, and Yuga. It is said if you can get the Yuzukage's help, then the Mizukage and Reikage will help too." "But why would they want to help us?" asked Kakashi. "They most likely won't want to help us, since Konoha is partly the reason why the land of Whirlpool went down so many years ago. But I need you guys to convince them that making an alliance with us is a good thing. This is the only chance we have in winning this war." She took a breath and continued, "Also remember that the ninjas might be hostile towards you, so be on guard. I don't want you come back failing me if you can, Kakashi, your team leader. Leave immediately." "Hi Hokage-sama," they said in unison and took off. In the woods. The Leaf Ninja team jumped from tree to tree in silence. Then Kakashi broke the silence. "We're going to have to sneak in because they don't like us and I don't think they will let us just walk right in there." "Hi," they said in unison. Then they all went back to their quietness. Kiba turned to a quiet Kakashi, "Do you know anything about this village?" Shikamaru answered before Kakashi, "Since we got to sneak in, I bet it's going to be troublesome." Sakura then asked, "How long will it take to get there?" 2 days approximately, now hurry up and quit asking dumb questions, said Enko. 2 days later. We arrived to where the land of Whirlpool supposed to be, but I don't see anything but an ocean with a big whirlpool in the middle, said a confused Kiba. Akamaru barked to agree. Yeah, I know where is the entrance, said Sakura. Kurenai then said, I feel Jinjutsu. She does some hand signs and yells out, release. The whirlpool inside of the ocean disappeared. There stood a giant open gate and in kanji on one side of the smooth brick walls, it said Land of Whirlpool. Kakashi turned to his group, I think we should change into our disguise now. Everyone nodded and changed. They walked into the land of the whirlpool and looked around. It looked really good for a place that only got rebuilt 5 years ago. The land of Whirlpool looked 10 times better than Konoha was all their thoughts. After walking for a while they came to the village hidden in the whirlpool called Yuzugakure Akayuzu. The 7 ninjas did not notice they were being spied on. The spy turned and left leaving a gush of wind. The 7 ninjas stopped at the guard's desk. Who are you and what do you want? Asked one of the guards. Kakashi then spoke, we're here to stock up on goods and have a little vacation. The guard chuckled which scared them for a moment, they thought they had been caught. Vacation eh, you must be from Suna, you Suna guys always come here for vacation, said one of the guards. They all relax and Kakashi laughed, yay we are from Suna hee. The guards open the doors and they walk into the village. The Uzukage office. The Uzukage sat in his chair and relaxed when his doors burst open, he turned around, what do you want? My apologies Uzukage-sama, but we spotted 7 Leaf Village ninjas pretending as civilians, said a guy in a dragon mask. Alert the general and get the watchers and bring the Leaf Ninja to me at once, said the Uzukage. Hi Uzukage-sama, said the dragon masked guy before disappearing. The watchers are like Anbu for Whirlpool ninjas. Hanohin. Wow this place is really nice, said an excited Sakura. Yeah it is, hey Hanabi, Sakura, Shikamaru, want to see what their food is like here cause I'm starving, said Kiba. You invite them but not us, pouted Kakashi and points to himself, Anko, and Kurenai. Well you see, started Kiba but was cut off when 7 masked ninjas surround them. Stop right there you intruders, shouted one of the ninjas. Kiba started to pull out his kunai, but Kakashi shook his head and he stopped. I should kill you Konoha scum, began one of the ninjas. He was cut off when a black hole appeared on the ground and out of it came a big red fox. What was this? All of the Konoha ninja was shocked. The fox changed into his human form. He had red long locks and black eyes with red slits and pale skin, he was gorgeous. Ayubi-sama, shouted one of the ninja. Ayubi, all of the Leaf Ninjas screeched. Ayubi smirked then said, the Uzukage wants to see you Leaf Ninja and he is angry so hurry and follow and he told us not to kill them, so be nice guys. The masked ninja nodded and grabbed the Leaf Ninja dragging them behind Kyuubi. Uzukage office. The Uzukage stared out the window his cage hat on and since he didn't like the robes they sat on his desk. He heard his door open and the Kyuubi spoke, Uzukage-sama we have brought the intruders. The Uzukage nodded and the Kyuubi told masked ninja to leave. Then he noticed Kyuubi walk to his side but he was facing the Konoha ninja. One of the Konoha ninja began to speak when the Uzukage interrupted and said, I don't know what I should be pissed at more. You guys enter in my village without my permission or fact that you want to make an alliance with me so I can help you in war. At this the Kyuubi laughed. One of the Leaf Ninja spoke sounding like Kakashi said, Uzukage we apologize, but please hear us out. The Uzukage side turned around sat down in his chair and took off his hat. Everyone gasped and said, Naruto. He let out a wide foxy grin and said, hurry and explain please. Then Kyuubi said, and don't be rude call him Uzukage-sama. The Leaf Village nodded as they check out the good-looking Naruto. He looked like Yondaime but a lot sexier. He wore a black muscle shirt under his black and orange robe which squeezed his nice pecs. He also wore grey ninja pants and black ninja boots. The girls were having a hard time not drooling and having nosebleeds. Then Hanabi spoke, well Uzukage-sama this alliance could help both. No, it only helps your weak village. It does not do any good for my village, said Naruto in a bored tone. This anger and shock all the Leaf Village ninja but Hanabi recovered quickly and begin to go on, Uzukage I do believe. This time she had been interrupted by the door opening and 2 women walk in, followed by an orange hair guy. One of the women was recognized by them she was one who took Naruto 4 years ago and the second one had long black hair with a tint of purple she had lavender eyes and her hat around her neck. She wore a short black tank top that showed her nice stomach and under her tank top she wore a fishnet shirt that shows her cleavage which I must say was nice. She also had on matching black miniskirt and black ninja heels. On her left upper hip she had bandages wrapped around her leg and on her right hip a sword with a blue sheath and gold handle and she had a matching sword on her left but it was near her lower back. On her right arm she had a tattoo of a dragon in whirlpool like the woman next to her but hers had the earth sign in kanji both women were extreme beautiful. The guy with orange hair spoke first, Uzukage my apologies for erupting but the daimyo. The first woman kicks the orange-haired guy in the head making him fall, then she places her foot on his head. Shinji, don't go apologizing for me because I don't feel sorry for erupting, so neither do you. He muffled a yes and she let him up. Naruto sighed, Daimyo, why are you here, and quit treating your secretary like that, you don't treat your personal bodyguard like that. Kyuubi laughed, oh that because he more than just her personal bodyguard, alright, he said with a wink. Lola blushed, Kyuubi shut up. She then kicked him in the groin, making him yelp and lean over whining like a hurt fox. All guys couldn't help but feel sorry for him. Naruto shook his head, please do this somewhere else, I'm trying to have a meeting at the moment, Daimyo. He then turned to other woman, Hinata-chan, may I ask why you are here? The leaf ninja gasped, Hinata. Hinata smirked, I can't come see my sexy husband, she laughed then said, well if you must know I came to ask about the new recruits this year and I ran into Lola-chan here and she insisted we walk here together. Naruto nodded, knowing his auntie loved to drag his wife in her schemes, of course, and you can see me anytime my dear, and here are those recruits. He grabbed a file off his desk and walked over handing to her. Thank you sweetheart, she said placing a small peck on his cheek. The leaf ninja was surprised at the confidence in her voice and the fact she didn't stutter. Kyuubi, who now recovered, was standing with his hands over his fox jewels. Shinji was also put a bit of a distance between him and Lola. Lola yawns and pointed at the leaf nin, what are they doing here, nephew? Naruto shrugged, these Konoha came here asking for an alliance, and since you're here tell me what you think of an alliance. Now it was Lola's turn to shrug, I think it could be a good idea if they listen to everything we want. Everyone turned to Lola and all asked, what do we want? I don't have time to explain, we can have a meeting tomorrow and discuss how we can benefit in helping you, but for now I recommend you find a place to sleep. She turns to Naruto, and nephew, you owe me sake, now pay up. Naruto sighed, okay, come over tonight. She ran over and grabbed him and chokehold, you cheap asshole, why should I wait any longer? Makipi can be Arin, he said, panting in between breaths. Everyone shook their heads at the two. Lola-chan, please don't kill my husband, I need him for my own use, said Hinata with a wicked smile. Everyone blushed knowing what she was hinting at, and Lola released Naruto from her death grip. Fine. Hinata-chan, since you're off today, come over to the palace please, begged Lola. Hinata nodded and Lola hooked arms with Hinata and two began to walk away when Naruto said, hey wait, since the Konoha are not liked around here, let them stay at your palace and I will bring 18 extra bottles of sake to your home if you do. Shinji spoke up before anyone else, no they must not use ukage, they are peasants and below the daimyo. This angered Lola, causing her punch Shinji, sending him flying out the window, of course they can stay if you're going, bring sake my dear nephew. Everyone sweat drop. Then Lola said, come on leaf nin, I don't have all day. They nodded and began follow her out of the Uzukage's office. Once they were outside, Lola jumped on a tall man with messy dark black hair and grey blue eyes, he had pale skin and calm look on his face. Ryu-kun, why didn't you come up with me, you're my personal bodyguard, I could have got hurt, Lola whined putting on a puppy dog face. Ryu slowly sat up and gentle pushed her off of him, Daimyo, I thought it'd be better if I not and to give you and your nephew some privacy. She pouted, Ryu-kun, we are friends, that means you can call me by my name, and why I would need privacy with that baka of nephew. I feel safe if you were there with me, Ryu-kun. If you keep looking at me with those beautiful eyes I'm going kiss you to death, he thought to himself, but still held a calm look. He sighed, next time I will come in with you. He then looked up at many people behind Lola, why are they with you, Daimyo? Hinata decided to answer, Ryu-sama, these here leaf ninja came here for an alliance and my husband asked Lola-chan to let them stay at the palace tonight. He nodded, stood up patting himself and then pulled Lola up as well, well shall we get going then? Lola hooked her arm into Ryu's and said, yes, let's go Ryu-kun. Ryu thinking to himself, I wish I was the bold type, I make you mine's Lola-chan. Hinata laughed as she watched Lola snuggle up close to Ryu, claiming she feels safe, and as Shinji, who finally caught up, tried to break them apart, only resulting in getting nearly beaten to death by Lola. Hey Hinata, how did you manage to find Naruto, and is that lady really the daimyo? Kiba asked her in a whisper. Hinata nodded, yes she is the daimyo of the land of Whirlpool, but as you can see she doesn't act like one much, and I wouldn't have met Naruto if I hadn't met Ryu there, she said, pointing to Ryu, who was lightly being tugged ahead by Lola. What do you mean? Asked Kurenai. She told how she met Ryu at the ramen shop. You met an assassin and because you felt like you could trust him you followed him, asked Sakura. Hinata shrugged, it might have been stupid, but I'm glad I did. He trained me to be an assassin too, and we travel around doing missions until we got a mission to kill 4 guys in a village that was known to rape women and murder. When we got there, village was burned and dead bodies everywhere. We looked around to see if we could find out who did it and ran into Naruto-kun, Lola-chan, and Kyuubi-sama. Seems those 3 alone took out that village. And the guys that we were supposed to kill were already dead. Lola-chan, who recognized Ryu-sama, asked if we like to come back to their village. And since my only purpose of being with Ryu-sama was so I could find Naruto, I decided to come back with them. She took a breather before saying, Ryu-sama really wasn't sure, but since Lola-chan once was a good friend of his, convinced him and made him her bodyguard, and she trained me too, which I became the head captain of the Watchers. A group of Jonin ninja who do A-rank missions, like Leaf Village's own Anbu. They gulped. Hinata was the head captain of group who was strong as the Anbu, and she had been an assassin. Then Anko asked, what was your assassin name, Hinata? We've been looking for you, and if you would have went by Hinata we surely would have found you. She smiled, I was the female assassin called the Death Princess. They all gulped loudly, now clearly scared of their once friend. Anabi then shakily asked, sister, it was said that the Death Princess killed over thousands 3 years ago and disappeared, that was you. Hinata nodded, yes, but I only took on certain jobs, for example guys who rape women and kids or crooked thieves and murders. They relaxed a bit but was still scared. Then Kakashi asked a question, but Hinata is Ryu, the same Ryu from Konoha who was banished years ago? She nodded and looked up, this is the palace, what do you think? Kakashi wanted to ask more but stopped when he looked up the gigantic palace in front of him. The place was made of marble and sparkling, it was as big as 3 mansions. The gates open and 10 ninja jump out of the shadows and lined up on side of the walkway. 5 on one side and 5 on the other. They bowed as Lola walked past them and into the palace. Kakashi heard one of the ninja whisper, what hell are those leaf nin doing here, and then other whisper, who knows, the walk into the building, only to find it seemed lager on the inside. Lola finally let go Ryu and said, Hinata-chan knows this place up and down, so she can show you around. I have to change and go do some business which shouldn't take long, then we can drink and eat till our heart's content. Yes, Daimyo, you should change quickly, the other party has already arrived, said Shinji. She nodded and headed up the spiral staircase. Shinji looked at the leaf ninja, I can show you fellows to the male guest room, and if Hinata-sama would like she can show you females to the female guest room, so you can get all cleaned up. They nodded and the guys followed Shinji while girls followed Hinata. Naruto. Damn that annoying auntie, Kyuubi, go pick up 18 bottles of sake and 3 bottles of Shinobi Grey Goose, said frustrated Naruto. Kyuubi laughed, you should just let them stay at your place. Not if I want to spend time alone with my wife, glared Naruto. Oh, so you plan on doing the nasty, said Kyuubi in a deep low voice. Hurry up and do what I said so I can finish up the paperwork and get to Lola's palace. Kyuubi made kissing noise and disappear in a black hole. As soon as Kyuubi left, a smile played across Naruto's face as he thought about how Konoha now need him. He laughed, if only council would have known this would be result of banishing him, they probably would let him stay. Palace. Everyone sat at the table in dining room talking and catching up with their friend. Then they heard palace doors squeak open and slam shut. Naruto and Kyuubi walk in with bottles of sake. They placed the bottles on the table and took a seat. So Yuzukage, you married Hinata here, you're a lucky man, Kiba said, trying to start a conversation. A foxy grin spread across his face and he leaned over and whispered into Kiba's ear, oh man, you have no idea how lucky I am. Kiba smiled at his old friend as he sat back down. Then Naruto asked out loud, what about you guys, anyone dating or married here? Anko and Kakashi are dating, Ino and Choji got something going on, Niji and Tenten plan on getting married, Hanabi and Konohamaru are dating, Lee and Shino are dating some civilians chicks, I myself also am dating a civilian named Mina, and Sakura and Sasuke going at it, said Kiba. All Leaf Ninja look at Kiba, was he an idiot or was just mental? Naruto laughed, wow, everyone besides Shikamaru. Shikamaru sighed, relationships are just too troublesome, Yuzukage. I don't know how you can do it. That's not true, Shikamaru. I bet there is someone who will change your mind, Hinata said. Kurenai nodded, yes, if Suna didn't pull back their alliance I'm sure you and Tamari would be dating. Shikamaru blushed, yay, that was a drag. Kyuubi yawned, feeling bored, where is that sexy auntie of yours? Naruto glared, Kyuubi, I wish you stopped saying perverted things, Kyuubi. All of Leaf Ninja had forgot about Kyuubi until he spoke and now was a little scarred. Kiba gritted his teeth, hey Yuzukage, what is Kyuubi doing outside of you? All of Leaf Ninja looked at Kiba like he was crazy for asking such a question, but Naruto only laughed, well that is a long story, but I guess I can tell you. Flashback. I'm done with another one of Auntie's killer training, thought Naruto. Then the said women walk up behind him and drop kick him for no reason. He fell to the ground with his ass in the air. What the fuck, Auntie Lola, screamed Naruto. Shut up Gaki, now that you're done with the basics I'm going to teach you one of Uzumaki's great technique and break that fox seal. Naruto was in shock, no wait, you can't break the seal. I said shut up Gaki, first off Kyuubi and all other tail beasts have bodies which are spread out wherever they were before someone tampers with them. Kyuubi, like all the other tail animals, had their demonic power drawn out of them. If their power is drawn out of their body they have no control of their self, so that guy Madara Uchiha, who drew out the Kyuubi's power, controlled the fox during that year of the attack, and now Kyuubi is sealed in you, but you cannot control him so he is still corrupted, said Lola. My dad did say Madara controlled the fox when he attacked the Leaf Village, but what you're saying is only way to have him not crazy and all, is to put him in his body, asked Naruto. I know, and his body was here in the whirlpool because Kyuubi himself used to go by name Argon. Wait, with history of whirlpool knowledge you gave me, Argon was one of Super Cage's who helped build the land of Whirlpool with the first Uzukage and first Daimyo. Yeah, I know. That was years ago. Baka Kyuubi is 9,000 years old, he had time to hang with them, said Lola in matter-of-fact tone. So how do we go about placing him in his body, asked a curious Naruto. Well, first I need you to ask the fox if he can promise to grant you and your offspring with enormous chakra, heightened senses, increased stamina and healing abilities, and the mark of the mate. Why hell would I do that, asked Naruto. Because it's just cool to be able to have stronger Uzumakis. Now ask him to do that and tell him if he does, you will be setting him back in body of his own. Okay, wait, what you mean body of his own? I thought you had his body, said Naruto. Simple, Kyuubi is not controlling his thinking, his demonic power is, and if you say he can go back to his own body he might refuse. Naruto nodded and then went quiet and had a faraway look on his face. Once his eyes full of life again she asked if he was ready and he nodded. Lola walk over to a tree and grab something behind it. She drag a mummified body over towards Naruto. He place hand over his nose, you it stinks. I know, so let's hurry up and get it over with. She pulled out a bookmark seals and opened it, flipping through pages. Here, repeat this and do the hand signs, then place a bit of your blood on the seal on his forehead. He swallowed. Why you think it will work? She smiled, I really don't know. He fell over, then jump up, then why hell should I do it? Because I say so, now suck it up and do it. He was going say no, but he had feeling she was going make him, so he did the hand signs, then bit his thumb and smeared his blood on the seal of Kyuubi's forehead. Naruto felt something go through his body, then red chakra started pouring out his body into the mummy's body. Once it stopped he felt weak for a second, so he sat down. At this off, came of muffled replied from the mummy. Lola reached over and began unwrap Kyuubi until there was no more bandages. He's naked, said Naruto. Of course baka clothes don't last as long as skin, said Lola. Nice breast there chica, if you like what you see you can help an old fox. She kicked him in the groin. I heard you were perverted, but I see now it was not a lie. Now come on you two, we did enough for today. What, you said you would teach me the Uzumaki's special technique. I wasted my time getting a pervert of a fox, a body only go back to palace. Fine. You trained enough so should be easily tap into the Uzumaki's special eyes. The special eyes, said Kyuubi and Naruto. Yeah, you should know Kyuubi, said Lola. I just think kid will suck at it, he smirked. You stupid fox, wide on. Shut up both you, if you want to learn how to use the Uzugakugen, then listen once because I won't repeat myself. Flashback end. So Kyuubi, you're not a bloodthirsty demon, asked Kiba. Kyuubi smirked, no, I'm still bloodthirsty and a demon. He paused and watched most of them gulped, but I don't like to kill randomly like everyone believes, I only like to kill people who are threat. The Leaf Ninja's sweat dropped, which only made Naruto, Hinata, and Kyuubi chuckle. Kakashi, wanting to change topic, said, Naruto, you said Super Cage and Uzugakugen, if you don't mind, what are those? Super Cage is a cage that is way stronger than your average cage, and they have to master their affinity. As for the Uzugakugen, it is the Uzumaki bloodline eyes. Like the Byakugan and Sharingan. I won't explain the whole thing, but when I activate, I get swirls in my eyes like my clan symbol, and if you stare into my eyes too long enough you will suffocate as if you are drowning in whirlpool of water, Naruto said as if it was nothing. That can I see please Naruto please, whined Kakashi. Naruto shook his head while laughing, good to see you're still weird Kakashi, but I can't. Fine, be like that Naruto, pouted Kakashi. They all laughed at a now frowning Kakashi. Sorry, seems my meeting took longer than I expected, said Lola as she walked in followed by Ryu and Shinji. Yeah, well, I brought you 18 bottles of sake and 3 bottles of Shinobi Grey Goose, now you should be happy for a week, said a proud Naruto. Yay, thanks nephew, she said with smile and then snapped her fingers and 10 ninja appear by her side. Join us in this feast, Lola told them. Shinji started to speak but thought better of it and shut his mouth. The maids then brought in lots of food. Anko and Naruto was the most delighted because there was a lot of ramen and dango. They ate and talked till they were full. As the night started to die down everyone began to go to their guest rooms. Naruto, who wanted to get home with Hinata, groaned when Hinabi asked her to stay the night with her and Hinata agreed to. He cursed the gods for this bad luck and decided he stay also and went to the room his auntie gave him when she first brought him here. Naruto even made sure Hinata knew what room he'd be in just case in middle of the night she wanted to cuddle but was only disappointed when she never came. Downstairs. Naruto and Hinata came downstairs to see everyone sitting and eating. "Yo, you two finally woke up," Kakashi said. They nodded, taking a seat and placing food on their plates. "But wait, Hinata, you slept with me and got up this morning when I went to take a shower," Hanabi started but stopped and started blush, realizing her sister and Naruto must have been doing something. Lola smirked as she watched everybody blush and squirm. "Oh yay, so Hinata, did you go to Naruto's room? Auntie, please eat your breakfast. I'm sure you have lots of stuff to do before noon when we talk about the alliance," Naruto said, hoping to change the conversation. "Fine, I will leave you two alone," Lola said as she placed a banana in her mouth, slow and seductively winking at Naruto and Hinata. She didn't notice all of the other men at the table drooling as she did that or women giving her jealous looks. Kakashi, the first to take his eyes off the woman, spotted something as his peripheral vision. He blinked. It couldn't be true, could it, he thought. He got up, all eyes on him, but he didn't notice. Kakashi walked over to a counter that held 4 books. He picks up one of the books and squealed like a teenage girl. "Itcha itcha. Heaven," he read. Kakashi then began picking up the others, reading the titles to himself. "Itcha itcha. Beach, itcha itcha. Beauty, Special Edition, itcha itcha. Shinobi." Naruto looked at Kakashi. "Kakashi, you and those books?" Kakashi didn't listen, he just inspected the books, then turned to everyone and said, "How did you get these? These are update and new, Jiraiya is dead, so how do you have these?" Lola smirked. "I can't tell you that, but let's just say Jiraiya and Kyuubi work together on those gross books. Kyuubi keeps trying to get me to read them, but you can have them if you like." Kakashi was going to ask what she meant by that, but just left it at that and grabbed the 4 books, placing it in his ninja pouch before going back to eat. The other Leaf Ninja also wanted to question her, but since Kakashi didn't, they left it alone. Naruto shook his head, finished his breakfast and told everyone he'll see them later, then headed to Yuzukage Tower. Reaching the Yuzukage Tower, he couldn't wait to get to his office. As he climbs the steps to his office, he bumped into someone. He looks down at person on the ground. "Why don't you watch where you're going?" shouted a red-haired boy. The boy then looks up at person he bumped into and swallowed loudly. Naruto smiled at the boy. "Sorry about that, Hitaki, I didn't see you there." Hitaki waved his arm frantically in front of him. "No, it's my fault, Yuzukage, I should watch where I'm going clumsily, me hee hee." "Well, how about we call it even? And there's no need for you to call me Yuzukage, we are part of the same family, Hitaki. Say, what are you doing here anyways?" The boy put on a thoughtful look. "Oh, I was supposed to tell you that mom wanted you and Hinata and Auntie Lola to come over tonight for dinner." Naruto started drooling. His cousin, Haru Uzumaki, the daughter of his deceased uncle, was a great cook. "Great, I will be so busy all day, so I won't get a bite to eat, so your mom's food should hit the spot." Hitaki nodded. "Okay, I will tell mom right away." The boy then took off with speed. Naruto looked at the kid and laughed, then continued on his way to his office. He opens the door to his office and then immediately shut it. "Did I just see what I thought I saw?" Naruto said to himself. "Maybe I should make sure," he thought before he opened it again and screamed, "What the hell is wrong with everyone today?" Kyuubi was fucking some random chick in his office over his desk. Kyuubi laughed and pulled up his pants. She wanted to see what a fox is like. The woman blushed, pulling up her skirt and said, "Sorry, Yuzukage-sama," before taking off, leaving his office. "Kyuubi, my desk is ruined, you asshole." Naruto glared as he looked at the juices on his desk. Kyuubi shrugged and ran hand through his red mane. "Buy a new one, plus you can't blame me, she was all over me like a bee on honey, so I did what any good man would do and gave her some good loving." Naruto cover his ears. "I don't want to hear it, this is the 3rd time you did this. Go get room, you pervert of a fox. Hey, takes one to know one. Oh, and don't forget the Kazukiage is supposed to come by sometime today," Kyuubi said, walking over and grabbing something off a nearby shelf. Naruto nodded, getting serious. "He should arrive sometime after I sent the Leaf Ninja home, so what do you think about this alliance thing? Could be very bad and then it could be very good. I talked to Lola-chan and it seems she thought of a way it could be good for us," Kyuubi responded. "And what did she say?" Naruto asked. "Simple, we have lots of missing nin and we ourselves missing nin too, plus your wife are all in Konoha's bingo book. If we were to make an alliance we could get our names cleared, even though Konoha is not a threat as of now, who knows what happen in near future, also we could get his head." At that, Naruto's foxy grin began to play across his handsome face. His head is a great gift for an alliance indeed. Yuzukage conference room. The Leaf Ninja sat at far end of the long wooden table facing Naruto, who sat at the head of the table. To his right sat Kyuubi and to his left sat Hinata. Next to Hinata sat Lola. Her 10 ninjas stood behind her at a distance and Shinji and Ryu stood at the doors. Naruto smirked. The Leaf Ninja seemed uncomfortable like they did when they first found out that he was the Yuzukage. He decide put them at ease and get a little small talk going. I've been wondering, you guys are kind of an odd group to be sent for an alliance. Mind explain why Hokage sent you? Kakashi nodded. Hanabi is now the Hyuga heiress, and that makes her good in political matters. Shikamaru is a good strategist, so we thought he'd be good at working out something great for both villages. Because you never know what to accept, we thought Kiba make a good person for the visit. Just in case someone got hurt, we brought Sakura. We heard of Jinjutsu you guys use and brought Kurenai. Anko was bored and asking for a mission, and so the Hokage let her tag along. I myself. A good team leader for these things. Well then, I guess you guys are good pick then. If it would have been anyone else, I might have took their heads, Naruto said, smiling. Make them uneasy again. Shikamaru then said, well Yuzukage, what do you want out of this alliance, and may I ask why have you brought your daimyo and the other two? Naruto sat back in his chair. The daimyo likes to get involved in alliances and has for all of Whirlpool's alliances, and she is one strongest people in this village, so it's only right that she have say in this, but don't forget she is the daimyo. Heard words are finale, even I can't do anything, so for things like this, we don't get the council involved, we just have 4 strongest people of village decided on the alliances. The 4 strongest people, me, Hinata, Kyuubi, and the daimyo herself. All the leaf ninja eyes widen. The 4 strongest, they all thought. But to answer your first question, Shikamaru, I will let Lola answer. Lola yawned and stood up, walking over to a shelf and picking up a stack of papers, placing them on the table, and then sat back down. Those are our missing nin. First, we want you take them out of your bingo book and clear their names. Second, there is a certain person in Konoha I want dead. No, I'm pretty sure everyone in Whirlpool wants him dead. Kiba clench his fist. Sakura hope they didn't miss Sasuke, did they want revenge? Shikamaru didn't accept this. Oh, this going to be a drag. Hanabi could only blink. Anko wonder who they wanted dead. Kurenai couldn't believe what they were asking, and Kakashi didn't like this at all. Oh, I also want to take his head personally, Lola said, smirking. Naruto began to speak when Kiba stood pointing at Lola, shouting, I don't know who you want dead, but we can't just kill a person for the fun. Naruto and Hinata, I don't know what happened to you guys, but it has to be because she took you that you ever agree with this foolishness. Hinata glared at Kiba. Kiba, that is the daimyo you are speaking ill of, and you are wrong. She didn't take me away, I left on my own will. I wanted to get away from Konoha. Shinji was going to say something to Kiba, but Lola raised her hand, making him halt. Kurenai told Kiba sit, and then Kakashi said, I'm afraid we can't make an alliance on those terms. Is there any way we can get you to reconsider? Naruto shook his head and sighed. Konoha, don't rush to jump to conclusions. First off, Kiba, you said my auntie took me away, but she only protected me. I was banished and she brought me where I belong. Where you belong? Kiba asked. Yes, you see, the land of Whirlpool was founded by 3 brothers. The oldest brother was named the daimyo of the land of the Whirlpool, his name was Raiden Uzumaki. The second brother thought they should have hidden village and became its founder, and he was named the first Uzukage, his name was Hiroshi Uzumaki. The third brother was a little lazy but strong, and he was head of one of the noble clans, his name was Nori Uzumaki. Naruto took a break and then continued. The 3 brothers were all over Kage level, so they were each super Kage. They also decide their best friend Argon or Kyuubi would be their general and control his own special squad of ninjas called the Seekers. From there it was Great Whirlpool had even been asked by first Hokage himself and many others to become part of great shinobi nations, but seems they declined. He paused. After the 3 brothers lived their time and died, Kyuubi went off live some other place and got married, having kids. The second generation of Uzumakis had been great, but third and fourth became Whirlpool's downfall. See, first daimyo thought as leader he should be strong also and acted more like ninja than a daimyo, and he always treated people equal, but third and fourth didn't think same way. Even the third and fourth Uzukages were harsh, and because of the Uzugakugen and other great techniques they treated the other villagers harsh. My grandfather was the 4th daimyo. He had 3 kids, Kushina Uzumaki, my mother, Lola Uzumaki my auntie, and Shiro Uzumaki, my uncle. The 4th Uzukage and the head of noble Uzumaki clan at that time didn't have kids and didn't seem like they were going to anytime soon, so they decide my mother would be daimyo and Lola be the Uzukage and my uncle Shiro be the head of the Uzumaki clan, but my mother and uncle didn't get as strong as they wanted them to be. My mother ended up leaving Whirlpool and went to Konoha, where she met my dad Minato Namikaze. Because of this and Lola's strength, they decide that she be the next daimyo, but they still thought my uncle should be head of the noble clan. They wanted to find another Uzumaki to be the Uzukage, but before they could, Whirlpool end up being attacked. Whirlpool end up getting attacked because some people still had grudges on Whirlpool for helping Konoha out a bit during Third War. The council of Konoha decide they wouldn't help, and Whirlpool was supposed to have fall to defeat, but all the ninjas protect what they could, and even though village was ruined Whirlpool, the people of Whirlpool stood strong, so it was decided, since Lola was now daimyo, that Whirlpool rebuild it back up in secret. She also wanted to tell my mother not to worry, but it was said she was dead, and the same for my father. The council also lied and told her I was dead. My auntie Lola faked her death and trained to be stronger. Lola claimed the throne, and my uncle became head of Uzumaki noble clan, but Lola acted as the Uzukage also until she found me. My uncle died, but he had a son and daughter. His son is head of the clan now. So you see, since my father is dead, it's only right that I be brought back to Whirlpool, plus I like it here with my clan. The Leaf Ninja looked at Naruto. Kiba then said, so that means you are royalty, and you're 4th Hokage's son, and the daimyo is really your auntie, like blood related. Lola yawned, why do you think I call him nephew? Naruto calls every woman older than him auntie, and he called the Hokage Aba-chan, Sakura said. Yeah, well, I'm his auntie, but now you know our history, how about we get back to the alliance, Lola said. Yeah, I think we should, and the guy whose head we want is Danzo's. We want his head and our missing nin cleared, otherwise we can't make an alliance with you, Naruto said in a stern voice. Danzo, they all said. Kurenai, Anko, and Kakashi knew exactly who he was and actually didn't mind him dying. Sakura, Kiba, Hanabi, and Shikamaru saw him before and heard of him, but didn't know a thing about him. Kakashi wanted to know why they wanted Danzo dead. Asked, may I ask why you want his head, and even then I can't promise you we can do that. Danzo is working with Orochimaru and Uchiha Madara, the leader of Akatsuki, Naruto said plainly. They all gasped. Shikamaru then said, this is so troublesome. Indeed it is, but if you can't give me his head, I'm afraid we will have to wage war on Konoha, Naruto said. The Leaf Ninja was shocked to their core that Naruto would say something like that. Kiba looked at Naruto then asked, would you and Hinata really do that to us, your friends and family? Hinata sighed and Naruto said, Kiba, I am the Uzukage, I have to do what's right for my village, and you guys hold a threat that needs to be taken care of, and if you can't let us kill him, we have to take you down with him. Plus all of the other 4 great shinobi nations want to attack Konoha because of Danzo. Kakashi eyes widen, all 4 shinobi nations. Naruto nodded, I have an alliance with them all, and I have convinced them not to for a moment, but as time goes on they are going to attack whether I say so or not. I just made myself a threat by talking to you, that's why I want to take Danzo out. If we kill him I can make an alliance with Konoha and other 4 want to attack Konoha. Lola looked at freaked out shinobi, I got a way we can help you figure out what to do, since we don't have good enough proof for you guys. Kakashi nodded for her to continue. First go back to Konoha and clear our missing nin, so the Uzukage can go to Konoha. I know a few root members who don't like Danzo, but can't speak out against him because they have seals on their tongues that would kill them if they speak out. Anko gasped, he put seals on their tongues, and how do you know? If I told you I get a certain person in trouble, but for now all you need to worry about is Naruto taking the seal off their tongues, then they can tell you about Danzo's actives, and you will let me take his head personally, she smiled. Are you sure the Uzukage can get the seal off? Kurenai asked doubtfully. I'm a seal master, Kurenai, and to prove it to you, Naruto hopped up and walked over to Anko, he did some hand signs and placed his right hand on her shoulder, where curse mark was. Red chakra started to glow from his hand, and Anko screamed in pain. What hell are you doing? Kakashi and Kurenai yelled. I'm giving you proof, he said, and then his hand stopped glowing, and Anko glared at him with unshed tears in her eyes. Stop crying, and what seal did you remove, Naruto? Lola asked. Orochimaru's curse seal, he said, walking back over to his seat. Anko looked at her shoulder and her eyes widened, you really got it off. Everyone looked at Naruto and he grinned widely, told you I give you proof. Anko got up, making the ninja behind Lola reach for their weapons, but stopped when she hugged Naruto. Thanks a lot, she cried. He shrugged, it was easy compared to other seals. Anko let go of Naruto and sat back down. One of ninja behind Lola whispered something into her ear, and she stood up, throwing her daimyo robes on her chair and turned to Naruto. I don't care what else you 3 decide on with them, as long as the first 2 things are agreed on. If that is done, then we shall make an alliance with Konoha, now I have other stuff tend to Jana. She disappeared in whirlpool of water with her 10 ninjas and Ryu and Shinji. Naruto wondered what she was up to but turned his attention back to everyone. If you can get the Hokage in the council to clear our names and make sure Danzo doesn't get wind of it, and then I will go to Konoha and I will take seal off a few root members, and if they help me prove Danzo is dirty fuck, then the Hokage can hold a council meeting, letting Danzo come, and once he is in the room my aunt will take his head. That doesn't seem bad. Is there anything else you would want in this alliance? Kakashi asked. Our secret jutsu and techniques, and also in clan secrets as well as whirlpool secrets, shouldn't be shared with you, Kyuubi finally spoke. Kakashi nodded, well I guess same can be said for us. So that means I really can't see this Uzagakugen. Naruto laughed, Kakashi, the Uzagakugen is a Kekkei Genkai and deadly, if I use it you die, that's only reason I won't show you. Hiki Kekkei Genkai, stuttered Kakashi. Naruto nodded. And it's stronger the Byakugan and Sharingan, so I do think my husband is only thinking of your best interest, Hinata said. Kakashi was jealous and speechless. Speaking back on the alliance, I think we should also not share most missions with Konoha, at least not in the beginning, Hinata said. Kakashi and Shikamaru nodded understating. So do both of you agree on those terms, Naruto asked Hinata and Kyuubi. Hinata nodded, that's only way I see fit. Kyuubi nodded, I agree. Naruto looked at Leaf Ninja, so, do you guys think you can get everything worked out? We will try but it's going to such a drag explaining, Shikamaru sighed. Naruto laughed writing something down on a scroll before placing the stack that Lola placed on table inside the scroll and then he handed it towards Kakashi. Now I hate to kick you out, but I accepting another visitor in 30 minutes oh Hinata why don't you walk them out of the village, Naruto said. They nodded and Hinata got up leading the way out. Then Kyuubi said to Naruto, I will go get the Kazuki I sure he is here. Naruto nodded and Kyuubi diapered only to return 10 minutes later with a red-head man with a love tattoo on his forehead and a blonde-hair woman with 4 ponytails carrying a large fan on her back and then a guy with purple makeup and a black hat. Yogara, Tamari, Kankuro, long time no see, Naruto said. Ignoring his greeting they sat down and Gaara said, my friend, tell me why is Konoha Ninja doing here? Oh so you ran into them, Naruto asked. They didn't notice us, but I noticed them, Gaara said. They came asking for an alliance so we can help them out in war, he said. Gaara looked at his friend with question, so what did you say, he asked. I said I would was all he could get out when Tamari shouted, Nani-san dropped our alliance because of you, and now you want to go be buddy-buddy with the enemy. Naruto got angry, let me finish. I said I would make an alliance if they give me Danzo's head and clear my missing nin which is something that is important, don't forget I am the Uzukage. Gaara nodded, Tamari, Naruto is right and Danzo is our problem not Konoha and I'm sure you like to see that guy Shikamaru again, so if everything goes well, then we will make an alliance with Konoha again and help in this war also. Tamari blushed and tried to say she didn't care, but they ignore her and continued to talk about a possible alliance with Konoha. Whirlpool gates. Hinata you sure have changed a lot, Kurenai said as her and the others stood at the whirlpool gates. Hinata smiled, yes, but I am happy the way I am now. Well that's all that matters, Kurenai said hugging Hinata. Kurenai could really tell she was happy and she was glad. Hanabi hugged Hinata tight after Kurenai let go her shocking everyone, don't forget you always have family in Konoha, she whispered in her ear. Kiba looked at Hinata, tell Naruto and the daimyo I'm sorry for my accusations and rudeness, he then gave her a light hug. Sakura smiled at Hinata, take care. Anko and Kakashi told her give their thanks to Naruto and Shikamaru told her he hated troublesome goodbyes and then they turned and leaped into the shadows. Burning. Naruto stood at the whirlpool gates watching the Kazuki and his siblings take their leave. He turned around heading back to the village. His stomach growled. It's almost time to go to cousin Haru's place to eat. Naruto leapt from rooftop to rooftop and came to a sudden halt when he smelled blood and decided to go in the direction it came from. As he got closer to the smell he felt a familiar presence, it was Lola. He ran faster fearing she was in danger. When he got to the scene he was blown away by what he saw. Lola was standing in his special training grounds with 3 dead bodies around her. Naruto quickly scanned the bodies, each body had on black cloaks with white clouds and red outline. One word ran through his mind, Akatsuki. Naruto jumped from the limb he was standing on and landed in front of Lola. Lola looked up, oi, nephew, sorry, but I took care of them first. Taking another look around Naruto asked, what happened here? I had a little playtime, she smiled at his questioning gaze and said, let me start from being it is a good story. Flashback a few hours ago. One of the ninjas behind Lola named Rouge from Lola Protection Squad called Eyes and Ears came over and in her ear whispered, Daimyo there is an intruder at the Uzukage's special training grounds. What do you want to do about it? Lola thought to herself, no way in hell am I letting Kyuubi, Naruto or Hinata get to this, I haven't had any action in a while. She stood up throwing her daimyo robes on her chair and turned to Naruto, I don't care what else you 3 decide on with them, as long as the first 2 things are agreed on. If that is done then we shall make an alliance with Konoha, now I have other stuff tend to Jana. She then disappeared in whirlpool of water with her 10 ninjas and Ryu and Shinji. Lola and the other ninjas appeared in the trees right above the special training ground. She looked down below her, 3 Akatsuki members stood chattering among themselves. She turned to ninja behind her, Eyes and Ears and Shinji and Ryu go back to work, I will take care of these 3 here myself. Ryu noticed she didn't add Kun on his name, so that meant she was serious and there would be no time for disagreement. Shinji on the other hand didn't agree, Daimyo we can't leave you here by. Shinji I can handle myself. Now that's an order, all 10 Eyes and Ears go back to your post. I am going to take care of them before Hinata's watchers or Kyuubi's seekers spot them. She could tell they didn't want to obey her orders, but they left anyways. Once she was sure they were gone, she jumped down in front of the Akatsuki members. "Oh, a little play toy," said a plant-looking freak. Lola studies the three carefully and thought to herself, great, I get to fight a bunch of circus freaks. "What a beautiful woman, eh," said white side of the plant freak. "But the bitch doesn't even have the nerve to say hi to her guest, bad attitude," said the right side of the plant freak. The plant freak, purple radish looking guy, and a stupid fish, "Wow, this going to be a great fight," Lola said smirking. "My name is Kissum to you bitch," said the fish looking guy, then he pointed to plant freak, "That's Zetsu," and he then pointed to purple radish, "Murasaki." "Well, since you're being so sweet and telling me your names, I guess I should introduce myself. The name's Lola Uzumaki and I am going to send you to your grave, nice meeting you." "Well, aren't you just a friendly one," Murasaki said. Lola smiled, "Well, I would love to flirt more, but I have a guy who I plan on making my husband and he isn't a circus freak, so how about I kill you and get back to my plot to get me a husband." "Uzumaki, you're related to the nine-tailed brat. Thought all his people were dead." "Oh well," Kissum said. Lola pulled out a short sword from her back and got to her fighting stance. Kissum told the Zetsu and Murasaki to sit back and watch, so they gave him some space and he pulled out his bandage sword. Lola sighed, she hated when people underestimated her, but she planned on playing with them for a little while, so it didn't matter to her. Kissum smirked, thinking to himself, that short sword is not going to help you one bit, girl. He ran towards her swinging his sword, but she disappeared in blink of an eye and kicked him in the back across the field. "Hey, how about you get serious or I kill you right now if you like," Lola said, yawning. Kissum jumped up from off the ground and smiled, her speed is amazing and maybe this will be some fun. Kissum picked up his speed and used his earth release jutsu underground submarine voyage to travel underground. Lola watched a fish meat travel underground, water and earth. Well, this is good, she closed her eyes and sensed him underneath her. She jumped back and he came popping out ground, flying at her with his sword in hand. Lola made 10 quick hand seals and called out, "Thunderous rain." All of a sudden it began to rain and hard. She knew the fish freak probably thought this was good for him, but just because it looked like rain doesn't mean it was. She watches as he began laughing and sticks his tongue out to get a taste of it, then he ran at her. She smirked, fish freak fell for the trap. Kissum wonder how dumb could a person get. Oh well, he shook his head, I guess blondes are not the only dumb ones, maybe they should add retweets to the list, using a water technique against me. Lola smirk, does he really think I'm that stupid? Kissum began to wonder why she felt so far away. He ran closer but she only seemed farther. "What did you do to me, you stupid bitch?" Lola's veins began to pop out her head, "Keep calling me that, fish boy. Oh well, I had enough fun with you, I guess I kill you now, that poison is already working on you anyways." Kissum fell to ground and was gasping for air now, poison. Lola was now hovering over him, "This rain is poison to anyone who drinks or get in their blood and you did just that, fish boy, now die." She quickly slit his throat and the rain stopped. She turned to the two other Akatsuki members, "I hope you guys don't underestimate like your friend, now play with me." Murasaki and Zetsu appeared next to her. Zetsu's white side spoke, "I like to kill you by myself and don't worry, I won't be foolish like Kissum." Murasaki nodded and stepped back, letting Zetsu get room to fight Lola. Lola put her bloody sword back in its stealth and did 10 hand signs again, but this time it was a different water jutsu and she called out, "Mizu death." A small trail of water appeared and begins to rush towards Zetsu and went up his leg, squeezing tight. Both sides of Zetsu laugh, "I absorb water woman, your attacks won't work against me." He then begins to absorb the water that she sent towards him. "Oh, you're no fun, Mr. Plant Freak, oh well, time for me to kill you." Lola smirked, "Absorb water, eh, let's see you absorb this." Zetsu was getting tired of her and planned on ending this fight. But she did a couple hand signs and they were so quick he couldn't copy, then she yelled, "Water shrine." Zetsu smirked as the Japanese shrine made of water surround him in. He laughed to himself, "Oh well, I will just absorb the water." Soon as he tried to, the shrine began to shrink and he began to shrink with it. He tried absorbing the water, but it wasn't working. "This is a water seal, Mr. Plant Freak. Trying to absorb the water won't work." Lola laughed and watches the water shrine shrink so small that it resembles an ice cube. She walked over and picked it up, then tossed it in the air, pulling out her sword at the same time, and when came it down, she sliced the shrine in half with her sword. The shrine vanished and Zetsu's body reappeared at regular size, but anybody could tell he was dead because there was blood all over his shirt where his organs had exploded from begin to big in such a small body. Murasaki shook his head, "Looks like Kissum and Zetsu wasn't that strong, well, I'm not a fool like those two." Lowell laughed, "Where have I heard that before?" Murasaki smirked, "Well my dear, I'm not going to give you a chance to make first move like the others, Zeus thunderbolts." He did couple complex hand signs and lighting began coming down at fast pace everywhere. Lola tried to dodge, but there were just too many and one of lightning bolts struck her, making her fall to her defeat. Murasaki watched as the woman struggled to get up. "I'm surprised you still have strength to wiggle, my dear, but these lightning bolts are not to joke around with." Another light bolt struck the woman, knocking her dead. He began to chuckle, which turned into a full thunderous laughter. "Did you really think you could have beaten me? Oh, what a waste, though you were such a pretty thing." He kept laughing and then stopped. "What the?" Lola held onto his feet from underground. Murasaki looked over at the other body. Was that just a clone? Lola answers his question. "The whole time I fought you three freaks, I use a whirlpool clone stronger than most clones and last longer." She drags him by his ankles into the ground and pull herself up until his head was only thing visible. Then she looked down at him and said, "Use a Gakugan." Flashback end. Man. Murasaki is Akatsuki member that I made up because I thought be cool if she kicked 3 PPL ass instead 1 or 2. "So you see, nephew, I just showed these 3 freaks to a place they might like called the Dead," Lola said, trying to sound innocent as ever. Naruto shook his head and laughed. He understood why she took them on by herself. Lola often got little action because anything semi-big or big was usually given to Hinata and her watchers or Kyuubi and his seekers. Even Naruto himself got more action than she did around here. Being the daimyo meant deciding important things that the cage wasn't allowed to do and going to other daimyo's fancy meetings, which he knew bored the hell out of her since she was more ninja than a princess and he himself hated doing paperwork all day. So when she got the chance, she tried to steal all the action she could. "Hey, what happened here?" a voice above them asked. Naruto and Lola looked up to see Kyuubi and a cat-masked ninja standing on branches above them. "Hinata-chan, Kyuubi, seems like you guys are a little too late. Auntie Lola took care of these idiots." Hinata took off her cat mask and jumped down next to Naruto. "I see that, you know Lola-chan, if you kill all the enemies, then I won't have a job." Lola laughed. "Haha, Hinata-chan, you get more action than all us, but if you like you can tell your underlings to clean up this mess." "Yeah, well, I'm hungry and I forgot to tell you guys, but we are supposed to go to Uzumaki compound and eat dinner tonight and it's almost that time," Naruto said, grabbing his stomach. "Oh, they invited all of us, I was just getting hungry also," Kyuubi said, copying Naruto actions. Naruto shook his head. "No, they just invited me, Hinata and Lola. You weren't invited, but I know that won't stop you from coming anyways, so let's go." Hinata put back on her cat mask. "I will meet you halfway there because somebody really haves to clean up this mess or whole village will smell like fish salad," she said, commenting on how the 3 dead nin looked like a salad with fish. Leaf Ninja. The Leaf Ninja traveled back to Konoha in silence, caught up in their own thoughts. Sakura was thinking about what Sasuke would do when she tells him about Naruto. She wondered if he would take the position as Rakudame Hokage now that they knew that Naruto was alive and doing very well. Sakura remembered when Sasuke told her that the council had decided that when Tsunade steps down in 3 years that they would give him the title as Rakudame Hokage, but he declined, saying that title belonged to Naruto and he said he felt it was all his fault that Naruto got banished in first place, so he didn't want to take that title. But now that Naruto is the Uzukage, maybe he will stop being so hard on himself and take the position in 3 years, she thought. Sakura herself felt bad also as she remembered how mean she had been to Naruto when he had used the 8 tails, and truth be told, she really didn't care about that. She was actually mad that he hurt Sasuke like the others. Sasuke made her realize that she was wrong and for first 3 years didn't talk to her much. They finally talked things out one day and she just started dating him last year. She knew she should have apologized to Naruto for what she did 5 years ago, but she couldn't get a minute alone with him. She was actually surprised that he didn't glare at her or deny to talk to them because of what she did, but then she remembered that Naruto was not petty like most people. He was kind and grew up to be so cute. To it did I say Naruto cute, ha Hana couldn't have. Kakashi was proud that his student had grew up to be so strong and powerful. Sensei would be so happy, he thought 5 years ago. He thought the people who taken Naruto was mostly working for Akatsuki or Kabuto, now turned Orochimaru. He was glad to find out that was not the case and that he grew up well and married the oh so beautiful Hinata Hyuga, or should I say Uzumaki. He smirked to himself. Now that he knew Naruto was safe, he could finally relax, and he definitely had to thank him for taking Anko's curse mark off. I guess I could get him ramen, he still likes that. Then Kakashi thoughts drifted towards Ryu, who he knew had to be Tsunade's cousin. He never figured out what happened to Ryu Senju, except that he turned assassin and went under the name Ryu the Silent Wolf. As far Kakashi could remember, Ryu used to be good friends with Minato and Kushina, even though Kakashi and Ryu were the same ages. He also remembered him being good friends with Hiashi Hyuga and his twin brother. That's who Ryu hung out with. I guess that's how he met Kushina's little sister Lola, since she used to come on visit Kushina often. Kakashi tried to remember the reason why Ryu left Konoha again. Oh, that's it, he was an Anbu captain at a young age, and he was given the order to transfer baby Naruto to the orphanage, and many people wanted Ryu to hand Naruto over. Ryu, being good friend of Minato and Kushina, and also a kind person, refused. In the end he had to resort to violence just to get Naruto to safety, but the ninja who tried attacking and killing Naruto and Ryu lied, and since nobody was around to prove Ryu innocent, he was asked to leave the village. Shikamaru thought this is going to be so troublesome, but I am sure I'm glad that Baka Naruto and troublesome woman Hinata are alright. I need to quit thinking it has become such a drag. Kurenai thoughts, wow, I'm so happy for Hinata, she has really grew up and changed. Not to mention the hunk of a husband, Naruto. If she wasn't married to him I have to take him out for a spin. Wow, did I really say that? I need to get laid, but Asuma isn't around anymore. I miss Asuma. I really hope we get this alliance with Yuzu because then I can hang out with my old students some more and we can catch up and hang out like the good old days. I hope Anko doesn't plan on hanging out with Kakashi, I need somebody to talk to. Hiba jumped from tree to tree thinking about his old friends, damn Hinata is 10 times sexier than she was 5 years ago and Naruto that lucky dog is married to her. All this time they've been away, they could have at least wrote us telling us that they were okay. Bakas. But what an aunt Naruto has, she's hotter than Suna's desert. Hope she forgives me for what I said. Damn, I have a big mouth. Oh well, Mina likes it and we'll probably make an alliance, and I'll get to talk to them. Smiling to herself, Anko also jumped from tree to tree thinking to herself, that Gaki is something else. If I wasn't dating Kakashi and he wasn't married to Hinata, I'd thank him the proper for removing my curse mark by breaking him off a piece of Anko's special Kit Kat bar. Speaking of sex, now that my curse mark is removed, Kakashi and I can celebrate by making babies so Kurenai's kid can have someone to play with. Kakashi and Kurenai sneezed and both thought one thing, Anko must be taking about me. Anabi facial expressions didn't falter as she jumped from tree to tree, but on the inside she was smiling. Ni-chan has gotten really strong and prettier. She even married Naruto, who I have to admit has gotten 10 times hotter than he originally was 5 years ago. I so happy though. I can't wait to tell Konohamaru and the others. Now dad can't hurt Ni-chan because she is the Cage's wife. Not only that but the Cage is royalty and super strong. Gosh, I could just hug and squeeze Naruto. Whirlpool. Achoo. Naruto and Hinata sneezed for the 7th time as they walked to the Uzumaki compound. Naruto and Hinata, I hope you two don't have a cold. You guys been sneezing now, stop, Lola said sounding concerned, then she looked at them and said, and if you do have a cold keep your saliva swapping, germ spreading selves away from me, I don't need it. I don't get colds, auntie. If you haven't forgotten, Kyuubi made me and my maid immune to such things, someone is probably talking about us somewhere, Naruto said in a matter-of-fact manner. Kyuubi laughed, yes, I did make Naruto and Hinata immune to such weak things. Oh well, who cares, we're here so let's eat and go home so I can see my Ryu-kun, Lola said as the four arrived at the Uzumaki compound. The Uzumaki compound was as big as the Hyuga compound if not bigger. It looked somewhat similar to the Hyuga and Uchiha compound except for its great big trees all around, and at the Uzumaki training grounds there are whirlpools and kids play freely. Also foxes are known to hang around the place since the Uzumakis are a fox clan. Kyuubi a long time ago when he went by the name Argon, made it so that the Uzumaki clan could summon demonic foxes. So not only did most Uzumakis have fox partners like the Inyazuka clan had dog partners, but they could freely summon demonic foxes. The Uzumaki guards nodded at Naruto and the others opening the clan gates, which had a big U in the middle of a whirlpool embedded in the gates. Naruto walked in with Hinata on his arms and Kyuubi and Lola walking behind him. As they walked to the main household, many of the kids and grown-ups along the way greeted them. Naruto walked into the main household to be blown away by the delicious aroma of the one and only miso and pork ramen. His stomach growled and he wiggled out of Hinata's loving grasp, sneaking into the kitchen. Not seeing any sign of his cousin, he dipped a spoon into the ramen broth and was about to take a sip when pop. Naruto, you're worse than my brother, the ramen isn't done now, go somewhere else so I can finish, a woman with bleach white hair said. Naruto smiled and pouted like a hurt puppy, come on cousin Haru, let me get just a small taste. A little Uzukage special treatment, I won't tell. Haru shook her head and turned her back to him, showing off the Uzumaki clan symbol on her red kimono and said, nope, now get out. Naruto groaned and stomped off towards the living room where he found his other cousin Katsura Uzumaki, the head of the Uzumaki clan and brother of Haru Uzumaki, Miki Uzumaki, the wife of Katsuro, Jiraiya, Hinata's mother River Hyuga, his own mother Kushina Namikaze, his dad Minato Namikaze, Lola, Kyuubi and Hinata playing poker. Naruto stood in the doorway watching them for a second. He had to admit that no matter how many times he's seen his parents or Jiraiya or anybody who was supposed to be dead, it shocked him a little. Soon after Naruto came to Whirlpool, his aunt Lola told him about a unique summoning technique she had that 1 out of million people can get. Lola could summon the dead just like any regular summon. At first he freaked out when she summoned his mom and dad, but now he was somewhat used to it. Though getting a summoning contract from the dead isn't easy or everybody would have one. Only reason she got one is because she said that she went to the graveyard every day since she was little putting flowers on every grave and if she went to another village she'd do same and so that dead was so happy they decide to thank her by giving her dead contract, at least that what his aunt told him. Whether it is true or not he doesn't know, but the only other way to get a summon contract with the dead, since they don't allow apprentices, is to go to the land of the dead and impress Daki the Death King. This is the main reason why nobody has really heard of death summon besides demonic creatures, death gods, and Kami himself, because going to the land of the dead is near impossible, and you probably die on the way. Naruto knew though summoning the dead could be dangerous if you summon more than 4 people. It can cause a strain to the body and shortens your lifespan and uses a lot of chakra, but every once in a while his auntie do more than 4 anyways. The good thing about it though is that they're actually summons so they can actually fight like any other summon, but Lola never used them for that purpose, but he does get to spar with his dad every once in a while. Everyone in Whirlpool was so used to Lola's summoning that they never said anything when they saw a dead person walking. Still Naruto and Lola know this could be trouble if other villages heard, so they had made a village secret. Naruto snapped out of his train of thought when he seen his mom get up and sit on his father's lap and the two begin to tongue wrestle. Not that they looked old because they look same as when they died, but he still had stopped them, so he made himself know by saying, "Oh come on mom, dad, I don't want to see that." Kushina looked up breaking her kiss from her husband and ran over to Naruto hugging him tight. "Mom, do you have to squeeze the death out of me every time we meet?" Naruto asked. "Do you have to use the word death or anything close around the dead?" Jiraiya yelled from where he sat at the poker table. Smiling at Naruto and ignoring Jiraiya, Kushina said, "Naruto, I only get to see you every once in a while, so I hug you however I feel, now why aren't you helping making me grandchildren?" He looked over at the poker table as to ask Hinata for help, but she was plainly ignoring him, and River and Lola, along with his mother, were looking at Naruto waiting for an answer. With 3 sets of eyes on him he sighed and looked at his mother and came up with a logic answer, "When Hinata and I are ready." Kushina pouted not liking his answer and dragged him over to poker table with her. Lola smirks and said, "You two sure seem ready to me. I mean this morning." Hinata who was sitting pretty close to Lola covered her mouth. Hinata looked over at Lola and glared at her. As Hinata retraced her hand Lola laughed. "I was just going to say you guys look like a perfect couple and a baby would be oh so cute," Lola said. Hinata nearly fell out her seat and Naruto dropped his shoulders, Lola loved playing games. The others looked at the 3 confused at what just happened but just shrugged it off. "So son, Kyuubi told me about your day with Konoha today. What do you plan on doing if they decline?" Minato asked. Naruto shrugged, "What else is there to do? I have to destroy Konoha, even though it'd be a shame because you and so many others put so much into building it up." Minato nodded and began to say something when Haru came in and said, "Food is ready, I just have to get the kids to come in, do you ladies mind setting table while I get them?" "I'll set the table cousin Haru," Naruto said in a hopeful voice. "No," shouted all the women and they got up went into the kitchen to set the table while Haru went out to get the kids. Kyuubi and Jiraiya laughed. Minato and Katsuro shook their heads at poor Naruto. They knew how it felt to be cut off from the women by their favorite meal, ramen. "Jiraiya, how about me you go do some late night research after we eat? That's if Lola doesn't send you guys back early," Kyuubi asked. The lecherous pervert nodded his head eager and Minato, Katsuro and Naruto shook their heads. Kyuubi and Jiraiya figure out they had many things in common a while back like pervert thoughts, looking at women, thinking my aunt is hot, getting slapped by hot women, peeping on hot women and more. Ever since then those two began hanging out every time she summoned him and they go off to do research. Jiraiya and Kyuubi even made agreement to where now Kyuubi even finishes stupid books. The two were 2 peas in a pod and Naruto had to say he was grateful for not turning out to be a pervert like his main teachers. Jiraiya and Kyuubi began discussing their research and Minato turned to Naruto, "Naruto, you know your mother is going to stop begging you for grandkids. So I don't have to hear her complain to me about how you will never have cute little kids, how about you make a baby?" Truth be told Minato wanted Naruto to have kids as bad as his wife and couldn't wait to see the offspring his prodigy would make, but like any man who hated showing his emotions he faked like he didn't care when in the inside he was screaming for Naruto to knock Hinata up a notch or two. Naruto looked at his father who looked almost like his twin and could tell by his big pouty eyes and saddened expression that he put on whenever he really wanted something that he also wanted Naruto to have kids. "Dad, we are still young, not everybody has kids early. Plus you guys should ask cousin Katsuro why he and his wife haven't had kids," Naruto said trying back out of the topic. Katsuro glared at Naruto for bring him in the conversation, "Actually Bakami and Mika are planning to have kids, so don't try to bring me in this, and I am not your parents' kid." Minato nodded, "Yes, Naruto, don't try to throw other people into this, that's not polite, and haven't you heard the early the better." Yay, yay, Naruto said in a lazy tone, but it feels like just yesterday we met and got married. I want to be with wife and clear up some things before I have kids. Flashback. And? This is flashback at how Naruto and Hinata met and got married. Naruto opened the doors to his now office and could not help but smile. In a way he accomplished his dream, he had became a Kage, even though it was not Hokage, still was a Kage and Uzukage. Now that he thought about it, Uzukage seemed better than being the Hokage. Naruto walked over to the window and looked out to see the crowds of people and ninja who accepted him with open arms being to dissipate after the Uzukage ceremony they just had for him. It had been a long year training with Lola and that damn fox, Kyuubi, but it paid off, although Kyuubi and Lola said they still wanted to train with him for at least 3 more years. After seeing nobody left of the once long crowd, Naruto walked over to his bookshelves of scrolls and began to trace the rim, thinking about how about the year he was Leaf Ninja. Drifting off into saddened thoughts, he was quickly reawakened by a sharp hit in the back of the head that sent him sprawling to the floor. Naruto groaned and looked up to see 2 figures walk in, both who got on his nerves from time to time, Kyuubi and Lola. He knew Kyuubi liked to be funny, but only one of them actually would have did it, and it had to be Lola. "Hey Naruto, what are you doing on the floor?" asked Lola with a playful tint in her eyes. "Oh, I don't know, maybe because you threw this book at the back of my head," Naruto said as he picked up the object of destruction that could have killed him if he was not a ninja and a strong one, because the way she threw it. Lola shrugged and said, "Shows how bad you need to be trained, because a skilled Kage would have easily dodged it and threw it back." Naruto glared at her and decided not to respond to that and instead asked why the 2 of them was here when he need to get to work as he just been made the Uzukage of Whirlpool. "Chill kid. Don't get your panties in a bunch. You're going to have to do a lot of paperwork later, so that's why Lola and I have a brilliant plan to escape and do one good mission before you have to do actual Kage work and forbidden to do missions and stay here," Kyuubi said. Naruto thought for a second he was right, being Uzukage meant no missions for the most part unless they were really extreme, only paperwork and more paperwork. So he decides that he could let his cousin, Kitsuro, take charge for a little bit while he did this one last mission. "Okay, what is the mission about?" Naruto asked, now pumped up. Lola sighed, 16-year-olds have too much energy. "We are going to go to fucking no hell village where they rape and murder women and kids. Some of our small alliances with our village have been complaining. I think it's best to go there and destroy the whole village now." Naruto was angry, how could someone do that? Besides Orochimaru, he couldn't think of someone so sick. "Let's go then." But Hinata and Ryu. Hinata looked up as she saw her door open and her partner came in with an orange envelope and handed it to her. She knew what it was another assassin job for them to do and inside was contents of mission. Hinata opened her envelope and began to read the file. Village? Fuck 'em no hell village. Targets. Right on Yoshida, Kane Yoshida, Blackjack, and Shaun King. Reason? These ninja are powerful rapists who murder and kill women with pleasure. Pay. 1 million Ryu for each head. Time. Needs to be done by the end of this week or we take 200,000 off. Those were main facts that she needed to know, the other facts were useless. She looked up to her partner in crime and said, "We should leave right away Naruto-sama." Ryu nodded and went to the corner of the room grabbing his bag and Hinata did the same. The 2 took off to fish out their next kill. Naruto, what is the plan? How are we taking down this village?" asked Lola. Kyuubi nodded, "Yay, kid, what do you want me to do? Go big fox mode on them or go mortal beast on them?" Naruto could not help rolling his eyes at Kyuubi's stupid expressions for when he went from his human appearance to his actual demon form or staying in human form. "Why am I making the decisions for you guys?" asked Naruto. "Well, Baka, you are the Uzukage now, so we follow your command, Dumbus," Lola replied. Naruto starched the back of his head sleepily. "Oh yeehaha, well then we will split in 3 when we get there. Then I want you to destroy any of those perverted ninjas you see, and if there is any innocent people, lead them out of the village, and once you get done with that, burn your side of the village and we will meet back at main entrance of the village when you're done." "Sounds like a good idea, Uzukage," said Kyuubi. "Yay, for once you sound like a real Kage, and look, the village is just ahead, this is going to be so much fun," Lola said with a real uncharacteristic sadistic look on her face. But Hinata and Ryu were running through the forest at high speed to reach their targeted village. As they neared the village they could see smoke rising from the village and as the village came into view they both stopped in their tracks, they were both stunned out of their minds. "What the heck?" asked Hinata. The village, where their supposed targets lived, was up in massive flames and with the fire's size, you could tell no one survived if they were in there. Ryu looked at village with suspicion. "Let's check it out." With a nod the 2 walked inside the burning village, making sure to watch out for falling pieces that fell from burning shops and houses. As they check out the village they heard footsteps and decided to go toward them. Naruto had finished up his side of the village and was on his way back to the main entrance. Walking over the burning stuff and dodging falling pieces, he didn't even sense the people around the corner until he ran straight into someone. Naruto on alert jumped back and pulled out two kunai ready for a fight. He stared at his enemies. It was two people, one was a woman and the other was a man. The woman was beautiful with an innocent look to her face, but Naruto knew that no women would be crawling around here looking like a ninja. She had to be up to something. The man on the other hand was handsome and appeared very strong, yet secretive. Naruto was about to ask them what they were doing here until he heard, "Naruto, me and the fox are done with village, and I see you." His auntie stops talking when she notices the other two people near Naruto. Kyuubi also didn't say a thing, he just stared hard at the two mysterious people. The two women though had many thoughts going through their heads. Lola herself was thinking, OMG, is that Ryu? I haven't seen that sexy man in years. Wait, is he doing here? As the woman next to Ryu was thinking, Naruto, did she say Naruto? Wow, it's only been a year and he's already looking hotter than I remember. Wait, Hinata, snap out of this daydream, I need to focus on why he is here. Ryu, what are you doing here? Lola asked in a serious tone. Naruto and Hinata were shocked that Lola knew who this guy was. Ryu blinked trying to recognize the woman, then it hit him, Lola, I mean I am here to complete an assassination task, but if you're here and the way the village looks doesn't seem as if I can complete that mission now, Ryu said, struggling to gain composure. Seeing Ryu so flustered shocked Hinata, she had never seen Ryu like that and it kind of fun to see, she wondered who this woman was. Well, I think we should leave this village or we are going to end up going down with it, said Naruto, reminding everyone of the burning place. The group of 5 quickly left the village and stopped in the forest when they were a safe distance from the burning village. So how about we stop at the nearby village and get a place to sleep for the night and we can catch up, Ryu-kun, Lola said, being her flirty self as she seen Ryu was not the bad guy. If that's what the others want to do then sure, Ryu said. It's fine with me because if I'm lucky I get to hear the sweet sounds of your lovemaking, the way Lola is acting, said the very perverted Kyuubi. Lola glared at Kyuubi and whispered words of his death. Shut up, fox, yelled Naruto, and then he said, I think stopping at near village is good idea. Hinata had to stifle a giggle at Naruto's old antics. All agreeing on going to a near village, the 5 ninja leapt from tree to tree until they came upon a village. They stopped at a hotel checking in there and Lola decided it'd be best for them to go to a restaurant bar that they pass while entering the village. Now they were at stupid crowded bar mixed with villagers and ninja who were drunk and stupid. Hinata was bored of listening to the attractive women throw flirting lines at Ryu and was more interested in Naruto and she wondered if he remembered her or not. Kyuubi, who knew who Hinata was and recognized her right away, wanted to know why she was here, decided to put stop to Lola's rants to her love by saying, Hinata Hyuga from Konoha, you have grown to be hotter than most of the women that I know. This made Naruto and Lola look up and take notice to the women, who didn't talk much but had been with them the whole time. Naruto started to see the similar resemblance to the girl he knew a year ago and in the academy. Thinking that Hinata was still a Konoha ninja, Naruto got angry and said, Hinata, why are you here? If you're here, turn me in as a Konoha traitor, then you can kiss my ass. Hinata was shocked by Naruto's words, but her shock quickly turns to anger. Over the year that she traveled with Ryu as an assassin, she grew from the timid shy girl she used to be to a brave warrior who took no bullshit. So for Naruto to say such a thing to her made her so piss off. How dare you say such a thing to me, Naruto Uzumaki, for your information I am no longer a Konoha ninja anymore. I left a year ago, a day after you got banished. I can't believe I ever like a jackass like you, Hinata yelled, picking up a glass of water she ordered and throwing it on his face and then walking out to go back to her hotel room. Lola sat back in her seat and smiled. She, just like the Kyuubi, both now had devious plans in mind. While Ryu, on the other hand, was quite shocked, though his face didn't show it. And Naruto was embarrassed and struck stupid, and before he realized what he was doing, he found himself chasing after Hinata. So Ryu-kun, do you want to tell me what you are doing with that sheik? Asked a bit jealous Lola when she was sure Naruto was gone. Quickly getting back to the hotel before her, Naruto decided to wait outside her door. When Hinata seen him from the end of the hall, she began to turn around to walk away, but Naruto ran towards her and grabbed her arm. Hinata, Gomen Hinata-chan, it just I haven't seen somebody from Leaf Village in a while, and I would have never guessed you to leave the village, so why did you leave the village? Hinata took a deep breath. It's okay, Naruto, you didn't know I wasn't a leaf ninja anymore. I left the Leaf Village because I didn't want to be there if you weren't going to be there. Hinata blushed as she said that, revealing a bit of her old self. Ah. You shouldn't have done that, Hinata, I wasn't worth all of that. Hinata shook her head, to me you were, and it just wasn't for you. I wanted to get away from that village also. Naruto blushed, he never knew Hinata thought of him in such a manner. Hey, well Hinata, if you forgive me, do you want to go on a walk and you can tell me what you've been doing this past year and I can tell you what I've been up to? Wow, Naruto, you are really doing good for yourself, Hinata said as Naruto explained how he had trained by his psycho but love-able aunt and pervert of a fox Kyuubi on their walk back to the hotel. He also told her how he was Uzukage now and how Lola was not kidnapping that year ago. Naruto also learned how Hinata went through strict training with Ryu and became an assassin to make money and get rid of scum. You two are walking awful close, said Lola with a devilish smile on her face. Hinata and Naruto, who just noticed they had reached the hotel and were actually pretty close, and being teenagers, they were still embarrassed no matter how mature they were. Shut up, Auntie Lola, Naruto spat. I'll look at the little Uzukage acting like a baby, Lola teased. Naruto just glared. Well, if you're done playing we should probably talk to them too and see what they think, said the Kyuubi sounding serious. Ryu nodded also with a serious look on his face. Huh? What do you need to talk about, asked Hinata, who now felt tense now that she noticed Kyuubi. Although Naruto told her he was gentle, she could not help but feel a bit scared. Good thing you asked. First I need to tell you Naruto all about Ryu here and how he's a great ninja, and then second I will tell you that when I finish with first, Lola said. What, that's what's so important, fuck off, Naruto said, about to walk away. Lola veins pop out of her head and kick Naruto in the back of his leg, making him fall. First I wanted to tell you about Ryu as a Konoha ninja and how he saved your life, jackass, Lola said. Naruto looked up. What used to be a Konoha ninja? Save my life. Lola told Naruto the tale of how Ryu risked his life to save Naruto when he was in Anbu and how he got banished because of it, and then how he was also part of the Senju clan and Tsunade's cousin. Now the second part, I was wondering, since we took Ryu-kun and your friend Hinata-chan's last big job, that they come back to Whirlpool with us and become Whirlpool ninjas to repay them, Lola said with big puppy dog pout. Lola, I told you there is no need for him to do that. I don't need charity, Ryu said. Oh, believe me, it's not charity. She just wants to get in your pants, said Kyuubi. Ryu threw Kyuubi a glance and Hinata shook her head at Kyuubi perverted but right on track thoughts. This earns him a punch from Lola, sending him flying to the ground. I don't really care what Lola's reasons is, but you seem like a good ninja and Hinata is a good ninja, so I'd be honored if you to come back to Whirlpool and help me out, Naruto said. I'm sorry, Hinata can go with you, but Ryu, I can use you as my personal bodyguard. I thought you said when we were younger that you always be my personal bodyguard if I need one. I need one, so please come back with us to Whirlpool, you to Hinata, because Naruto needs a girl like you as his girlfriend, Lola said. Hinata and Naruto blushed. She is not my girlfriend yet, Naruto said, whispering the last part. Kyuubi began chuckle evilly as his super fox ears pick up the last part of what Naruto said, effectively scaring Hinata and Ryu just a bit. Glancing at the demon who tried to kill him, then back at Lola's pouting face, he said, okay Lola, I will be your bodyguard. Hinata, do you want to go to Whirlpool also? Hinata smiled and nodded. Then it's settled, you guys will leave with us in the morning and W will travel back to Whirlpool with your awesome cage. Whatever, idiot, let's just get to bed. Speaking of bed, if you want you can share room with me, Ryu-kun, Lola said, batting her eyelashes. Naruto shook his head and left, followed by Hinata and Ryu, who politely declined, and they all went into the hotel to get a bit of sleep. The next morning the ninjas set out to Yuzu, and since it was not far away, they managed to reach the village late in the afternoon. Wow, this is beautiful, Hinata said as she took in the amazing view of the village. Isn't it? I know, why doesn't Naruto show you around and I will show Ryu around, Lola said, thinking of her brilliant plan she had in mind. What about me, whined Kyuubi. Oh Lord, my cousin Katsuro, I'm back and go do whatever else you do, Naruto said. Then he turned to Hinata, let me show you around, Hinata. Hinata nodded and Naruto, being the one who is touchy person, grabbed Hinata's hand, pulling her away. Chapter 5. I promise. Flashback. It had been a month since Hinata had came to Yuzugakure and she spent most of her time either training with Lola and Ryu or hanging with Naruto. Lola, who already had plans of Hinata and Naruto getting married without either of the two's knowledge, had decided to train Hinata as her very own student. So the two women were often together when neither was busy and because that a bond had grown between the two. So Hinata, you and the Uzukage been hanging out a lot lately, said Lola. Hinata and Lola were sitting in the middle of an empty field of one of the many training grounds of Yuzu. Hinata's cheeks went a rosy red. He's just been showing me around and introducing me to people. Plus we have a few spars here and there. Lola sighed, when are you going to make your move on him? You're killing me slowly, you know that, right? I mean, you two both like each other, but neither of you will make your move. Naruto-kun, I mean the Uzukage doesn't like me like that, he just sees me as a friend, so I can't tell him I like him. Don't call him Uzukage, Hinata, you're his girlfriend, and how can you be shy around the Uzukage, but then on battlefield or anyone else you're full of confidence and pride, asked Lola. Hinata held a faint blush, something she hardly did anymore, unless you were talking about the Uzukage and her in any sort of romantic way. Daimyo, you call him Yuzukage, so why can't I and you want to talk? You haven't told Ryu-sama you like him. First of all, I call Naruto Yuzukage because I find it humorous, but when I'm in front of him I always call him Naruto or nephew just to get on his nerves. Second of all, I order you not to call me Daimyo, but instead Lola-chan, and third, I tell Ryu I like him all time. Do you see the way I throw myself at him? Said Lola in a matter-of-fact tone. Hinata giggled. Lola did make it known that she wanted him. Lola-chan, you threw yourself at him, not tell him you like him, and I just don't want Naruto-kun to reject me. I like that we hang out so much right now. I hate to tell him, and then he not like me. Blah blah blah, I'm going to set you two up because you two have to get married. Nani? Screamed Hinata. Hinata, I only see you fit to marry Naruto. Don't get me wrong, there's some nice girls who would treat him right, I just only see him with you, and as his aunt I have to make sure the girl Naruto marries would be someone his mother would like, and you're the only woman who fits that bill, Lola said, pausing for a second. Also, I think your mother would love to know that you're marrying her best friend's son, Lola continued. Hinata was really confused now. What do you mean? I haven't told you. I thought I told you that I used to be friends with your parents, and so were Naruto parents. Of course you haven't told me that before, Lola-chan, I would have remembered, screeched Hinata. Lola ignored Hinata and continued on with her speech. As I was saying, I used to be friends with your parents, or more like when my sister moved to Konoha she befriended your mom. I'm not being rude, but what does that have to do with me? Asked Hinata. Lola simply rolled her eyes. Well, if you let me explain. Hinata didn't say anything else, and seeing how she got her attention, Lola continued. Well, after Kushina moved to Konoha she became friends with your mother River. This of course was before River married your father. Then my sister met and fell in love with Minato, who was good friends with your father. Minato and Kushina set your father and mother up, and then they all became good friends. Along with your father's brother Hisashi, and Ryu, who you know also, was good friends with Minato and looked up to him as a teen, and well, they all hanged out. So long story short, I used to come and visit Kushina every so often, and I got to know Minato, River, Ryu, Hisashi, and Hisashi. Wow, Uzumakis are always full of surprises, but again I don't see. Well, as you can see, Hinata. Your mom and I also were close friends, and so when she was pregnant with you, Kushina was also pregnant, and they talked about how great it would be if their kids married one another, Lola said. My mom and Naruto's mom wanted us to get married, asked Hinata with suspicion in her eyes. Look, it's not exactly what they said, but I know them and they would love the idea. Matter of fact, I can summon them now and we can talk about it, said Lola. Nani, summon them? What do you mean? Asked a confused Hinata. Lola sighed. Well, you see. Lola quickly explained to her the death summoning contract she had. Hinata, who hanged around the Uzumakis for a month, now knew it was in all Uzumaki's nature to play pranks, so she thought Lola was lying. Lola, please show me if you don't mind, asked Hinata. Hinata, you don't believe me. Sigh. Okay, since I was going to summon them anyways, Lola said. Lola went through hand signs at speed Hinata couldn't register, then bit her thumb and smeared blood on the ground. Uchiha no Jutsu. Death summon, said Lola. Hinata watched as smoke filled the area, and when it cleared, two beautiful women stood. One with long red hair and light blue greenish eyes, and the other had long dark blue hair and dark blue eyes. Hinata's eyes bulged out her head. The woman with dark blue hair was her mother, River Hyuga. Hinata didn't remember much of what her mother looked like, but just one glance, and she knew that was her mother. Mother, Hinata squeaked. The woman blinked. Is this? Yes, River, it's your brat of a daughter, Hinata. Kushina, meet Hinata, your future daughter-in-law. Kushina then squealed. Naruto found someone he would like to marry already. Omgan, she's your daughter, River, this is so great we can. Oh no, I'm actually not Naruto-kun's fiancé, said Hinata, turning shy from the presence of Naruto's mom and her mom. Then who is? Asked Kushina. Her and Naruto are getting married, she just doesn't want to admit it yet, said Lola. Lola, Uzumaki, don't you go decide things for my daughter. If she doesn't want to marry him she doesn't have to, said the now recovered from shock River. It's okay, mom, it's not that I don't like him, I just. Hinata stopped when she realized she said mom and lady in front of her was her dead mom. She was talking to her dead mom. Oh my god, I'm talking to my dead mom, yelled Hinata. She finally reacted. I think you're the first to take so long to freak out. That's a new time recorded, said Lola as she started writing down the information on a piece of paper. What? How? Why are you alive? To answer your question, Hinata, would be hard for me to explain, and you probably wouldn't believe me, said River. I already told her, so I don't see why freaking out so much. Get over it, said Lola. Don't be mean, Auntie Lola, said loud but smooth voice. Looks like your brat decided to come here too, said Lola as Naruto started walking towards them. Naruto, shouted Kushina as she ran over and hugged him tight. Hello Naruto, said River. Hi River and Mom. What are you two doing here? Asked Naruto. Hinata told me to summon Kushina and River, said Lola pointing to Hinata. who at the time was space out because she just seen a ghost hug Naruto and he act as if it was usual. And then Naruto-kun, can you explain this to me, asked Hinata, who finally got the courage to speak. Naruto looked at Hinata and figure his dumb auntie just showed Hinata the death summoning contract and she was now out of whack. Well, at least that's happened to him, so he nodded and said, yay, matter fact, let's go out to eat and I will explain. Yes, let us eat and drink some sake, said Lola. No, you can stay with my mom and River so I can explain this to Hinata-chan, Naruto said. The woman pouted but understood that Hinata need time to get over this, nodded their heads in agreement. So Naruto told his mother and River goodbye and him and Hinata left. So I figure Lola freak you out back there. It takes some time getting used to and you never really get used to it, but it's fun talking to your loved ones that you lost. I know talking to my mom and meeting my dad and sometimes talking to Jiraiya is always fun. Hinata shook her head, well, just tell me that you and everyone around here are not ghost. Naruto laughed, Hinata-chan, you're cute when you're worried, and no, we are not ghost and my mom and yours is not ghost either, they're summons. From the dead, questioned Hinata. Yay, Naruto said. Then Hinata realized Naruto called her cute a while ago and began to blush a little. Seeing this, Naruto could only think how cute she looked with a blush and decide to ask her the very thing he wanted to ask her since first time they met again. Tom, I don't know how to ask, but do you possibly want to go on a date later, asked Naruto. The cinnamon bun that Hinata was about to put in her mouth barely touched her lips and then fell out her hand. Then Naruto-kun, did you just ask me out on a date, asked Hinata. Naruto scratched the back his head nervously, yay, but if you don't want to go out with me it's fine. It's just this whole month I've been hanging with you and talking to you and you're really hot and well, I think my feelings for you are more than a simple attraction. Naruto-kun. I realize how even when we were younger with my fight with Niji and you saving me from pain, that you always been there for me and you're always someone I can talk to and I feel so happy around you and well, I just don't want any other guy to have that if I can help it. Hinata giggled, which scared Naruto. He thought she was going to laugh in his face and tell him off, but then she said, Naruto-kun, I love to go out on a date with you. But you know it's wrong to not want another man to have happiness. Naruto for first time completely turned red. He realized that what he said seemed like he didn't want any guy to fall in love. What I mean is that I don't want any guy to fall in love with you, they can fall for any other girl, just not you, because I want you. No, that still doesn't sound right, I am sorry, I'm horrible at this romantic stuff. Hinata only giggled more. Wait, Hinata-chan, you said you go on a date with me, Naruto said, pointing to himself. Hinata nodded, blushing from the fact she would be going on a date with Naruto, and Naruto also blushed seeing realizing he was going to be going on a date with Hinata. Then they both heard giggles. They thought it was from the shop owner as he had been listening the whole time, but it wasn't. They both got up following the sound and when they rounded the corner they found Kushina, River and Lola giggling amongst themselves. What are you three doing? Asked Naruto. Well, look at the time, we have to go, said Lola as she began to skip off. Hey, were you spying on us? Asked Naruto to the two remaining prey. No sweetheart, we weren't, we just wanted grab bite to eat, but anyways, love you, bye, said Kushina as her and River ditched the new pair. Naruto shook his head and glared after the disappearing figures. I can't believe they were spying on us. Hinata nodded in agreement. Naruto then turned to Hinata. Well, Hinata-chan, I better get back to office, but I will pick you up at 8k. Hinata nodded, okay Naruto-kun. But then Naruto walked off towards the Uzukage's place. Later that night. Naruto was out of breath by the time he got to Hinata's apartment, so before he knocked he took a minute to catch his breath. He had run full speed all the way there because he had 5 minutes to get there, otherwise he would have been late. So with 1 minute to spare he knocked on the door. It seemed like Hinata had been waiting at the door for him because as soon as his fist came in contact with the door for the first time she opened the door to greet him. Naruto swallowed when he seen Hinata. She wore a black halter dress that hugged her body. It was a sleeveless V-neck that tied around the back and she had on purple pumps. Nice legs, he thought, oh what I could do with those legs. No, stop that Naruto, you're not some pervert like Hiro-sen or Kyuubi. Hinata watched as Naruto's mouth hung open with different emotions playing across his face. This confused her very much and she was not sure if he liked what she had on or not, so she quickly explained, I didn't know where we were going so I just threw on this, but I can change if you like. Naruto snapped out of his stupor and shook his head, no way Hinata-chan, you look smoking hot in that. There's no reason to change, I just had to mental slap myself to make sure this real. Oh, and these are for you. Naruto had stopped by a friend's flower shop on the way here and snagged a bouquet of gardenias. Hinata took the flowers and blushing she said, Naruto-kun, they're beautiful, thank you. I better put in a vase. She walked back in her apartment leaving the door open for Naruto to come in, which he did. He sat down as Hinata went in kitchen to find a vase to put the flowers in. It didn't take long because Hinata was back in a second sitting the flowers in the middle of her front room table. Hinata took a good look at Naruto. He was wearing a red button-down dress shirt with a black tie and black dress pants. She licked her lips unconsciously. He looks good in a suit, she thought. Hinata, are you ready?" asked Naruto. Hinata nodded and Naruto stood walking over to her and hooked one of his arms in her before leading the way out. Naruto lead the way asking Hinata simple things about her time with Ryu until they arrive at a restaurant called Tomo's Japanese Steakhouse. Hinata looked at Naruto. "This place is expensive, Naruto-kun, you didn't have to bring me here." Hinata hadn't been in this village long, but one thing she knew was this place was not any cheap meal. Naruto only smiled at Hinata. "Nothing is too expensive for you, Hinata-chan, and as Uzukage there almost nothing I can't get." "Now will you accompany me, my lady?" asked Naruto holding out hand for Hinata to take. She blushes and nodded, taking his hand, walking into the restaurant. They got a quiet romantic both in the back lit by candlelight. Naruto ordered the Tomo Deluxe Tempura with miso soup as a side and Hinata ordered the seafood house salad. As they were eating, Naruto was watching Hinata. He watched her close her eyes with every bite and moan about how good it was. It was really distracting him from eating because perverted thoughts kept popping up in his head. "Are you enjoying your meal?" asked Naruto. Hinata nodded. "It's really delicious, the butter from the lobster just melts right into your mouth." "Really? Can I taste it?" asked Naruto. Hinata blushed but didn't refuse him and was about to hand her plate over to him, but he said, "I would like for you to feed me, please." Hinata's blush deepened and she picked up her fork, getting a forkful of the salad before leaning over to place the food in Naruto's open mouth. Naruto chewed and swallowed, then licked his lips. "You're right, Hinata, that is amazing." Hinata though didn't hear him, she just had been paying attention to the way his jaws flex when he was eating, and when he licked his lips she almost died, but she noticed there was a little butter from the salad on the side of his face. She didn't think, she just leaned over and licked the spot where the butter was. Naruto went red. "Did Hinata just lick my face? But it was in a hot way, God, I must be imaging things." Hinata also went blushed a deep shade of red when she realized what she had done and immediately apologized. "I'm so sorry, Naruto-kun, that was way out character for me." Naruto's foxy grin appeared on his face as he got an idea and said, "Yes it was, and for that you will make up to me by promising me that I will get a kiss goodnight and another date." Hinata only could smile. "I promise." They finished their meals, talking the night away, enjoying one another company. Then Naruto decided it was best he walk Hinata home. When he got to the door he thanked her for the date and turned around to leave. He had forgot all about her promise to kiss him, but Hinata grabbed Naruto's hand before he could go. Naruto turned around. "What is it, Hinata-chan?" She walked up to him, closing the distance between them until they were standing face to face. "I thought you wanted this." She didn't finish what she was going to say, instead she showed him by leaning down and grabbing his lips with hers. Naruto at first was taken back, but then he realized what was going on and he kisses her back. Hinata grabbed onto his sleeves while Naruto's hand held onto her waist. After what seemed like to last for hours but in reality it was only a few minutes, they broke the kiss, gasping for air. "Oh yay, I glad you remind me, I wouldn't have wanted to miss that for anything in the world," gasped Naruto as he struggled to gain air. Hinata softly giggled. "So how about I come get you next week same time?" asked Naruto. "That would be nice, Naruto-kun," said Hinata. Naruto watched Hinata walk into her house and then he walked back towards his place. "Foxy, that was so beautiful," said Lola as she appeared out of nowhere with a grinning Kushina and River. Naruto blushed. "Please tell me you guys weren't watching." "Okay, I won't," said Lola. Naruto growled, "Can't you find something else to do rather than bothering me, Daimyo?" "No thanks, Naruto, I personally enjoy making you angry," said Lola. "You do you?" said Kushina, glaring at Lola. "Ni-chan, I am just joking," said Lola. Even if she was dead she was still dangerous. River laughed and Naruto only glared. "I'm disappointed in you, River and Mom," said Naruto. "What about Lola?" pouted Kushina. "Well, I half expect something like this from her," said Naruto. "Shut up, you stupid brat," said Lola. River looked at Naruto and smiled. "We just wanted to see how date was going to go, that is how all moms are." "What Lola's excuse?" said Naruto. "Blackmail," said Lola. "It's only blackmail when you don't want someone to know," said Naruto. "Yeah, and if you guys do something embarrassing I can always use that against you," said Lola as she leaped away. "Lola," said River and Kushina as they followed her. Naruto dropped his shoulders in defeat. His auntie is going to be the death of him. 2 years later. Naruto and Hinata had been steadily dating for 2 years since that day. So in other words they are 18. Naruto at the moment was in an engagement shop looking for a ring for his queen. He had been searching for hours on end. Since he had been dating Hinata he had some of the happiest times of his life and he knew no other woman could do that for him, so he decided to pop the question, but first he needed the right ring. He needed to find it quick because he was supposed to meet her in 30 minutes. "Uzukage, how about this one?" said the owner of the jewelry shop. Naruto looked at the one the man pointed at and sighed, shaking his head no. When just then, a ring next to it had caught his eye. Naruto smiled. "Hey old man, give me this one," Naruto said, pointing to the ring that caught his attention. The old man smiled. "That is an excellent one, Yuzukage, I'm sure she will love it." Naruto said, "You think so?" "I know so," he replied. The man ringed up the ring, and Naruto quickly paid for the ring and gently put it in his pocket. Then he decides he should at least head towards Hinata's house. His clone was setting up all the preparations for their date anyways. Upon reaching Hinata's house, Naruto was having a mental breakdown. He was afraid she might say no. He knocked lightly on her door, but her ears must have still heard it because seconds later she opened the door, placing a kiss on his cheek, wearing a beautiful white sundress and golden leather thong sandals. "Hi Naruto-kun," she said, closing the door behind him. Naruto gave Hinata a nervous smile and said, "Hi Hinata-chan, you look beautiful." "I try," Hinata said, winking at him. She hadn't noticed his nervous demeanor, and since he was wearing his favorite orange shirt and black pants and his lucky orange and black ninja shoes that he got especially Taylor, that somehow looks like low-top Chuck Taylor's Kefrother doesn't know how that happened. She figured he was feeling good about something. Naruto got more and more nervous as they reached his destination for them. His clone had dispersed and he had all the memories of him making everything perfect. They reached their destination in no time, which was one of the empty training grounds. Except this training ground had an waterfall not far from the training area. So that's where Naruto led them. Here, more specifically, his clone had set out a blanket and picnic basket near the waterfall. There was gardenias all around, something Naruto figured out Hinata really loved. He had gotten a pair white doves, Hinata's favorite birds, to sing songs to one another. "Naruto, this is beautiful," Hinata said, tears starting to swell up in her eyes. Naruto scratched the back of head like he always did when he was nervous. "Is it really? I want today to be perfect." Hinata, now crying, looked at him curiously but guessed he was talking about their anniversary, which was today. Naruto walked over to Hinata and pulled her over towards the blanket, sitting her down. She wiped away her tears as Naruto opened the basket and began placing the food on the blanket. He had brought grapes, strawberries, of course sandwiches, rice balls, dango, cinnamon buns, and red wine. He really wanted to bring some ramen also, but he figured that would not be appropriate when trying to ask a woman to marry you. So he sacrificed his precious ramen for today only. Naruto fed Hinata whatever she told him to feed her as she laid her head in his lap, enjoying the view of the waterfall and the nature around her. Then, getting an idea, Naruto shook Hinata lightly. She rose up off him, turning to stare at him with a questioning gaze. He only smirked, getting up and running towards the waterfall, and then he stood under it, letting the water pour down on him. Knowing curiosity would get the best of Hinata and she would soon come after him, he waited. Hinata, curious to what Naruto was doing, walked towards the waterfall, only for him to jump out, splashing her with water. She saw the mischievous look in his eyes and decided to play with him. They ran around, splashing each other until Naruto was ready to ask her. Naruto, who had been hiding under the waterfall, waited until he sensed her and grabbed her by the waist, pulling her body against his. He looked at her and then kisses her passionately. After pulling back for air, he looked at her breathless, and right there under the waterfall holding her, he said, "Hinata, would you put your crazy boyfriend and Yuzukage out his misery and do me the honors of marrying me?" It seemed like the birds found the perfect time to start singing again, and a few gardenias blew near Naruto and Hinata, making him take one hand off her waist to grab it and place it in her hair. Hinata couldn't believe what she heard, so she asked Naruto, "WWH, what did you say?" Naruto let go of her and got down on one knee and smoothed his wet hair out his face before pulling out a black box from his pants. "Hinata Hyuga, will you marry me?" Tears began to spill down her face. She always wanted to hear Naruto say those words, and no matter how many times she had imagined it, she never imagined it this beautiful. So are you going to say yes or no?" Naruto unsurely asked. "Of course I'm going to say yes, you baka, yes," Hinata said as she cried happy tears. Naruto could hardly contain his excitement as he slid the 3-stone ring with an oval center stone, flanked by 2 half-moon diamonds on her finger. The oval center stone was sapphire. The band of the ring was white gold and had a design of 2 foxtails intertwined with one another. After he carefully put the ring on her finger, he picked her up, swinging her around in his arms, both of them laughing. Then she began to shiver. They were after all standing under a waterfall. He carried her over to their blanket, laying her down. He looked at her and started smirking. "You know, Hinata-chan, I do appreciate you wearing this white dress. It lets see all of you," Naruto said with a lecherous smile. Hinata looked down at herself and then blushed. She forgot that she was wearing white and Naruto had got her all wet. "Naruto-kun, you're not nice at all," she whined. He chuckled at his fiance's pouting face. "Hinata-chan, you should know by now it's in my nature to be mischievous. Now how about you punish me?" Hinata wrapped her slender arms around his neck, pulling him to her face where they eloped in a passionate kiss. That night Hinata and Naruto made love for the first time ever. 6 months later. Hinata, nervous, played with her fingers. Today was the day she and Naruto get married. Today she be. "Why are you nervous, Hinata?" asked Lola, making River and Kushina look at Hinata with concern. River and Kushina had on a disguise, so no one from other countries would know who they were. Hinata smiled, "I'm nervous because I just want everything to be perfect, you know." River smiled at her daughter, "Of course you do, sweetheart. Everything will be fine, so don't worry." Kushina nodded, "She's right, nothing can mess up this wonderful day. Unless Yujure or Kyuubi decide to feel one of the girls up and they make a scene," Lola said. Hinata then looked freaked out and River and Kushina glared at Lola. "Sister, how about you stop talking," said Kushina in a deadly voice. Lola laughed, "I'm joking, Hinata, I will personally see that those idiots don't touch anybody." Hinata sighed, then tense again, "Long as you also promise not to rape Ryu." Lola blushed and blood started trickling down her nose at the thought of her and Ryu doing this and that. River shook her head, "We will keep her from touching Ryu, don't worry, sweetheart." "Yay, that's the least I can do until after the wedding is over," said Kushina. Then someone knocked on the door, interrupting the women. "Who is it?" Hinata called sweetly. "Minato, I came to walk you down the aisle," said Minato. Hinata had asked Minato to walk her down the aisle since she couldn't ask her own father, and even if he could, she doubted he would want to do it and she wasn't going to let that ruin her perfect day, so she asked Minato. River and Kushina winked at Hinata before leaving to go take their seats. Then all of Hinata's bridesmaids, which included Lola and Tamari, who Hinata asked since she knew she was coming with Gaara, and a few women who Hinata had befriended from the village, walked out ahead of Hinata. Then Minato took Hinata's arm and they began walking down the hall where all of Naruto's groomsmen and his best man met them, and they walked out before Hinata. Then last Hinata and Minato walked out where everyone got to their feet. Hinata was taken away by Naruto, she had to catch her breath. He stood at the end looking at her with his beautiful crystal blue eyes in a black tux, though he wore an orange dress shirt underneath his tuxedo jacket. Naruto was also taken back by Hinata's beauty, he was sure he never get used to her sexiness. She wore a white V-neck floor-lengthened dress with shoulder straps. It sparkled with crystals at the waist on up, giving Hinata an extra glow, and it tied in the back with a big bow. She had on a necklace her mother gave her and some simple yet elegant satin above the elbow bridal gloves. He also could tell she wore light makeup, but her lavender eyes made her stand out more. Her hair was pinned up in a sort of carefree updo, while two long bangs hang down from either side of her face. To Naruto she looked like an angel. Finally, after what seemed like hours, Minato handed Hinata off to Naruto. If it was not for tradition, he would kiss her right now. Then the minister began, "Dearly beloved, we are gathered together here in the sign of God and in the face of this company to join together this man and this woman in holy matrimony, which is commended to be honorable among all men. And therefore is not by any to be entered into unadvisedly or lightly, but reverently, discreetly, advisedly and solemnly. Into this holy estate these two persons present now come to be joined. If any person can show just cause why they may not be joined together, let them speak now or forever hold their peace. Marriage is the union of husband and wife in heart, body and mind. It is intended for their mutual joy and for the help and comfort given on another in prosperity and adversity. But more importantly, it is a means through which a stable and loving environment may be attained. Through marriage, Naruto and Hinata make a commitment together to face their disappointments, embrace their dreams, realize their hopes and accept each other's failures. Naruto and Hinata will promise one another to aspire to these ideals throughout their lives together through mutual understanding, openness and sensitivity to each other. We are here today before God because marriage is one of his most sacred wishes, to witness the joining in marriage of Uzumaki Naruto and Uzumaki Hinata. This occasion marks the celebration of love and commitment with which this man and this woman begin their life together. And now through me he joins you together in one of the holiest bonds. Who gives this woman in marriage to this man?" Minato then said, "Her family and friends gathered here today too." But that minister continued on with his speech, "This is a beginning and a continuation of their growth as individuals. With mutual care, respect, responsibility and knowledge comes the affirmation of each one's own life, happiness, growth and freedom. With respect for individual boundaries comes the freedom to love unconditionally. Within the emotional safety of a loving relationship, the knowledge self-offered one another becomes the fertile soil for continued growth. With care and responsibility towards self and one another comes the potential for full and happy lives. By gathering together all the wishes of happiness and our fondest hopes for Naruto and Hinata from all present here, we assure them that our hearts are in tune with theirs. These moments are so meaningful to all of us, for what greater thing is there for two human souls than to feel that they are joined together to strengthen each other in all labor, to minister to each other in all sorrow, to share with each other in all gladness. This relationship stands for love, loyalty, honesty and trust, but most of all for friendship. Before they knew love, they were friends, and it was from this seed of friendship that is their destiny. Do not think that you can direct the course of love, for love, if it finds you worthy, shall direct you. Marriage is an act of faith and a personal commitment, as well as a moral and physical union between two people. Marriage has been described as the best and most important relationship that can exist between them. It is the construction of their love and trust into a single growing energy of spiritual life. It is a moral commitment that requires and deserves daily attention. Marriage should be a lifelong consecration of the ideal of loving kindness, backed with a will to make it last. Naruto then began to exchange his vows. Today, I want you to know how lucky I feel for having found the one perfect person for me, the one who suits me so comfortably and who gives me joy and boundless hope and anticipation for the future. Every day we're together, you do nothing but make me happy. The day we met was the day I became truly alive again, and today our wedding day I declare my love and devotion for you before the entire world. I make a vow to stand by your side through the best and worst of times and to give you the best of what I have from now until the end of our days. Hinata then exchanged her vows. I promise to give you the best of myself and to ask of you no more than you can give. I promise to respect you as your own person and to realize that your interests, desires and needs are no less important than my own. I promise to share with you my time and my attention and to bring joy, strength and imagination to our relationship. I promise to keep myself open to you to let you see through the window of my world into my innermost fears and feelings, secrets and dreams. I promise to grow along with you, to be willing to face changes in order to keep our relationship alive and exciting. I promise to love you in good times and in bad with all I have to give and all I feel inside in the only way I know how, completely and forever. Minister then turned to Naruto and said, do you Naruto take Hinata to be your wife to live together after God's ordinance in the holy estate of matrimony? Would you love her, comfort her, honor and keep her, in sickness and in health, for richer, for poorer, for better, for worse, in sadness and in joy, to cherish and continually bestow upon her your heart's deepest devotion, forsaking all others, keep yourself only unto her, as long as you both shall live? Naruto: I do. Minister to Hinata, do you Hinata take Naruto to be your husband to live together after God's ordinance in the holy estate of matrimony? Would you love him, comfort him, honor and keep him, in sickness and in health, for richer, for poorer, for better, for worse, in sadness and in joy, to cherish and continually bestow upon him your heart's deepest devotion, forsaking all others, keep yourself only unto him, as long as you both shall live? Hinata: I do. The minister then said, what token of your love do you offer? Would you place the rings in my hand? Then Gaara, Naruto's best man, handed the wedding ring to Naruto, who gave it to the minister and Hinata's maid of honor. Lola handed Hinata the ring for Naruto, and she gave it to the minister also. The minister then continued, may these rings be blessed as the symbol of this affectionate unity. These two lives are now joined in one unbroken circle. Wherever they go may they always return to one another. May these two find in each other the love for which all men and women yearn. May they grow in understanding and in compassion. May the home which they establish together be such a place that many, giving the ring back to each respect counterparts, they place one another ring on each other's hand. Then the minister said, you may now kiss the bride. Naruto, who had been waiting for that moment the whole time, didn't waste any time and quickly leaned over, kissing her. Flashback end. And that day was the happiest in my life, said Hinata, who had came in the room halfway through Naruto's speech. I know mine's too. Who would believe though that after that little date that now I be married to a beautiful woman for 2 whole years, said Naruto as he got from the table and wrapped arms around her waist, leaning down to plant a kiss on her soft lips. Oh, chorused the women who also came in the room halfway through Naruto's speech. The spotlight couple looked up, blushing just a bit, and then Naruto said, I'm hungry and all that talking makes me want to eat more. Hinata playfully slapped him on the arm and everyone went into the kitchen to eat. Chapter 6: The Cage's Day. Naruto stretched out on his bed to notice Hinata nowhere in sight. He rubbed his head and groaned loudly. Even though he was highly tolerant to alcohol, he still had his limits. And last night he and his father after their dinner went into a very competitive match of beer pong and other drinking games, which led to a very intoxicated Naruto. Though he did get the treat of spanking Hinata's monkey, but since he couldn't remember it didn't matter much. You're awake, sleepyhead, said Hinata, who just entered the room with a glass of water and pills for Naruto's headache. She handed them to Naruto as she crawled back into the bed. Naruto gladly took the items from her, sitting up to swallow the pills and drink the water and then resting the glass on his nightstand. He then pulled Hinata close to him. I don't know what I would do without you, Hina. I don't know what I would do without you either, sweetheart, but if you don't hurry up and get to the Uzukage's office, then you will never hear the end of Toshiro-san. Naruto groaned. He didn't want to think about that. Toshiro Fujiwara of the Fujiwara clan, one of his best ninjas and also Naruto's assistant. The only thing was Toshiro didn't like showing up to work on time and liked spending most of his time drinking sake and trying to get Naruto to do everything besides paperwork. Now that Naruto thought about it, Toshiro was the opposite of Shizune and more liked Tsunade as an assistant, and Naruto was like Shizune, except he was the cage. Shiro knows I only show up late on rare occasions, and they're even rare when I show up late because I have a hangover. Haha, you know what this kind of reminds me how Tsunade usually shows up to the Hokage office with a bottle of sake, said Naruto. Achoo, the Hokage sneezed, someone must be talking about me. I bet it's Shizune, maybe I should put the sake away before she comes in here and nags me again. Just as Tsunade put away her sake her dark-haired assistant came in the room, good timing, thought Tsunade. Tsunade-sama, the ninja you sent out for the Yuzu Alliance have returned, reported Shizune. Okay, send them in, Tsunade responded, and a few seconds later Shizune and the 7 ninja for the Yuzu Alliance entered the room. So give me a detailed report, Tsunade barked. Yuzu-kid, you're late and I came at the time you always nag me about coming on, Toshiro, Naruto's white hair and green-eyed assistant said. Shut up, Toshiro. All you do is drink and try to get out of your jobo, why am I yelling, Naruto said. Looks like you have a hangover, Yuzu-kid, and anyway partying is better than doing paperwork. I mean, you hate paperwork, but you still do it. Just doesn't make sense to me. Party equals fun and paperwork equals dumb, so which should you do? Party, yelled Toshiro, trying to make Naruto's headache worse, and successfully did just that, making Naruto grab his throbbing head. Naruto rolled his eyes at the thought of paperwork but glared at Toshiro for making his headache worse than it already was. He wonders how could Tsunade deal with all the drinking she does if she has to deal with headaches like this and annoying assistant on top of that. Nani, echoed the Hokage's voice all throughout the Leaf Village. Well, Hokage, I said, Naruto Uzumaki. Never mind that, Kakashi, I heard you fine and clear, said Tsunade, standing up from her desk and walking over to her window looking out at the clear sky. That Baka is the cage of one of the strongest villages in the ninja nation at the moment. He was supposed to be the damn Hokage, Tsunade sighed. Still not turning around to face the ninja, she said, do not talk to anyone about this besides the ones who are in this room about your mission. I will have to speak to the council, and after that if you are needed then I will contact you all are dismissed. Shizune looked up at Tsunade. She knew that Naruto was like her son and how she felt about him. Shizune was pretty sure Swan was going to try everything in her power to get the council to agree with everything. She was sure Tsunade was also glad to hear how Hinata was doing, but she knew her thoughts were more on Naruto. So as soon as the 7 ninja left the room, Tsunade immediately gave Shizune orders to get the council, all besides Danzo of course. The council and Tsunade met in the council room. When all the council members was in the room, she put up a privacy seal and made sure it was strong. Tsunade, what did you call us here for and why didn't you invite Danzo? Asked Hamura. If you let me get to that I will explain. Swan looked around to make sure everyone was not going to ask any more questions. Okay, now that's cleared up, I called you here to discuss the alliance with Yuzu. Didn't we already have this talk, Hokage? Did Yuzu say no or yes to alliance? That's all we need to know, said Kaharu. Tsunade rolled her eyes, didn't I say let me explain? Fine, Kaharu said, shutting her mouth so the Hokage could talk. Good, now first off, no, Yuzu did not agree to our alliance. Tsunade stopped and glared because of all the people murmuring among themselves. She cleared her throat to silence everyone, but they are willing to make an alliance with us on a few conditions. That I thought I run by you before just agreeing on anything. She had to rush the last part in because she could tell they were going to start asking questions. What are these conditions? Asked Hiashi Hyuga. Well, first off, Yuzu wants us to clear the names of the missing nin in their bingo book. Second, they want us to allow them to take the head of Danzo. Outrageous and that's preposterous were the cries of the council men and women once the Hokage finished speaking. Silent, Tsunade nearly shouted while rubbing her temples to regain their attention. I know most of you are thinking that there is no way in hell you could agree to that. Seems Yuzu thought you might think that way. But Yuzu believes that Danzo is doing dirty work with Kabuto and Madara Uchiha. They also say he used to work for Orochimaru. Yuzu wants to prove this by coming to Konoha and taking supposed seals off selective few ninja who worked under Danzo en route. To do this they need their ninja to be taken out of the bingo book. If Yuzu can provide us with evidence from one of Danzo's root members, then they want to take Danzo's head as the official bond to the alliance. Yuzu also asked that we keep this from Danzo, otherwise he might try to get away or find some other way to keep the root members from talking. Is that all they want? Asked Shikaku Nara. Well, they also ask to keep their secret jutsu and techniques and also in clan secrets as well as Whirlpool secrets from us unless decided upon. If Yuzu can prove Danzo a snake in the grass, I see no reason not to kill him. Also, if their missing nin is not a threat to Konoha, then I see no problem with taking them out of the bingo book, said Hiashi. The others agreed, so Tsunade pulled out the stack of papers with names of ninja from Yuzu who were in Konoha's bingo book. Tsunade saved 4 of them for last. After the council looked through all of the ones the Hokage had handed them, Kaharu said, Hokage, these you could have cleared on your own, they are not even a threat to us. I know, but I figure these last 4 would cause problems, so I decide to save them for last, said Tsunade, placing the last 4 papers of missing nin down. After each council member got a glance at the papers, their eyes went wide with shock. There is no way in hell we will allow them to be taken out of the bingo book, said one of the council members. I'm afraid if you don't, there is no way an alliance can be made. Hell, if you don't clear any of those 4, the Yuzukage will not even think about coming here, said Tsunade. I'm sure the Yuzukage can't see where we are coming from if we just talk to him, Tsunade, said Hamura. This made Tsunade laugh hard and loud, pointing at the council as if they told a funny joke. Everyone besides Shikamaru, Kakashi, and Hanabi, who were all on the council, were the only people to know why the Hokage was laughing. What is so funny? Asked Kaharu, now fed up with Tsunade's behavior. Tsunade stopped laughing and wiped the tears from her eyes. In a low voice that made everyone listen carefully, she said, I don't think the Yuzukage will appreciate you not allowing him to be taken off the bingo books, but still want his help, and then to have his wife on the bingo books would be another slap in the face. As far as my cousin Ryu goes, he is the daimyo's personal bodyguard, and since she wants to take Danzo's head personally, you have to take him out of the bingo book. Iubi is the Yuzukage general and on the council, so he defiantly is going to have to be taken out of the bingo books, or Naruto Uzumaki, the Yuzukage of the village hidden in Whirlpool, would be highly upset. The room went dead silent after Tsunade said this. Hiashi was the first to speak up, so you're saying Naruto Uzumaki is the Yuzukage of Whirlpool, and Hinata is supposed to be his wife. Ryu Senju is the daimyo's personal bodyguard, and Kyuubi the nine-tailed fox is the Yuzukage's general. Tsunade knew at this moment it could not get any better. Yes, that's exactly what I am saying, and before you all make up your minds on this decision, you might want to know a little bit more. If we don't make an alliance with the Yuzu, things can become worse, because not only can they attack us, since they know we are weak at the moment, but according to the Yuzukage, he is keeping the other 3 great ninja nations from attacking us. Now if we don't at least agree to let them come here and prove Danzo a crook, not only could we end up getting attacked by Yuzu, which we don't need at the moment, but by all the other 3 great ninja nations. Then Tsunade quickly informed them why Kyuubi was taken out of Naruto. With that being said, the council went into a talking frenzy. After 10 minutes the Hokage cleared her throat. What do you pose I do? Keep in mind I am giving you the choice to make the decision for Konoha's future. Well, seeing that we don't have any choice in the matter, I think we should agree to what they want and get them here to prove Danzo wrong, said Hamura with disgust. The Naras, Kakashi, Kaharu, Akimichi, Yamanaka, Haruno, Hanabi, Tenten's family and everyone else besides Hiashi agreed. Hiashi, is there a problem? Asked Tsunade, seeing as he was the only one to not agree. If I allow Hinata to be taken out of the bingo book, then it's like I am allowing her to be another ninja. Meaning if she was to ever have kids with a Byakugan, then it will be outside the clan. I cannot allow that to happen, Hiashi explained. Who cares, this for the sake of Konoha, Tsunade said. Hiashi gritted his teeth together and said, fine, but don't accept me, be nice to her. Tsunade looked at Hiashi, grow up Hiashi, and you have to be nice to her or else the Yuzukage might decide to not make an alliance with us, and you don't want to be the blame for us not winning the war, do you? Fine, Hiashi said, still pouting like a child. Tsunade sighed, now make sure to keep your mouths shut, you all are dismissed. She released the privacy seal and everyone left the room. Tsunade then walked back to her office and called the 7 ninja who went to Yuzu back in her office. Let me guess, go to Yuzu and inform the Yuzukage of the agreement, then escort him back here, asked Shikamaru. Tsunade nodded, yes, now leave immediately. The 7 ninja nodded and set out to Yuzu. The Hokage sat back in her chair and smiled, this calls for a drink of sake. She pulled out a bottle of sake from her drawer, twisting off the cap and drinking it straight. Ah, it tastes so much better now that I know I will get to see the brat again. Naruto's hangover was finally starting to go away, but his assistant's stupid meddling kept bringing it back up. Luckily, since Naruto always did his paperwork without taking any breaks or stalling, he usually finished early, and today was one of those days he finished early. With nothing else to do, he decides to take the day off. As he was leaving his office, his assistant asked where he was going. I'm taking the rest of the day off, said Naruto. Ashiro smirked and said, nice. Party Yuzukage, that's what I'm always saying, you finally hearing me now? Naruto shook his head, no, Toshiro, I'm not partying. I'm taking the day off, you know, like maybe get some ramen, visit Kyomeho and Koji Yamasaki for a quick spar match. This made Toshiro eyes brighten. The only thing he likes besides partying and drinking is fighting. Yuzukage, do you mind if I join you? Asked Toshiro. Since Naruto enjoyed Toshiro's company when they were outside of work, he agreed to let him join him, but first they had to eat some ramen. Which meant Naruto and Toshiro were going to the Uzumaki compound and begging his cousin Haru to cook ramen in the middle of the day. Growing weary of hearing Naruto's pleas, Haru cooked 5 bowls for Naruto and 1 for Toshiro and herself. The 3 sat in silence eating their meals. After the meal Naruto forbid his cousin goodbye. Then set out to find Kaiyo and Koji Yamasaki. First Naruto and Toshiro went to the Meiho clan housing area. The Meiho clan is known for their genjutsu and is one of the founding clans of Whirlpool. Kaiyo, the same age as Naruto, was one of the first people that he befriended among coming to Whirlpool. Kaiyo somewhat reminded Naruto of Shikamaru because of his very intelligent mind, but Kaiyo was nowhere as lazy and laid back as Shikamaru. Kaiyo was also a ladies' man. He loves it too. The fact that he would soon be clan leader didn't help keep away the ladies either. That's why Kaiyo had a fit when he heard Naruto was getting married to Hinata. Naruto could remember Kaiyo's exact words, "Dude, you're getting married, that means I can't bring you as a wingman to help pick up the ladies anymore." Ooh, don't do it. Naruto shook his head at the memory and proceeded to walk to Kaiyo's place, but when he reached his place Kaiyo wasn't there. So they decide to go to the Yamasaki's clan housing area because most likely Kaiyo was there with Koji planning a game of shogi. The Yamasaki clan was known for their great weapons since they were a weapon clan. The Yamasaki was also another founding clan of Whirlpool and very respectful able. Koji Yamasaki was also someone Naruto befriended when he came to Whirlpool. Koji was neither lazy nor energetic type either, and he wasn't much of a party animal, he usually got dragged to parties by force. Though he was popular with the ladies, Koji only had eyes for one woman, and her name was Imi Saku of the Saku clan, Koji's girlfriend. Naruto never got how Koji liked Imi. She wasn't an ugly woman, she is actually quite beautiful, but Imi to Naruto was a Sakura no Tamari all in one. As Shikamaru would say, that was just troublesome. Imi is physically violent towards anyone besides Koji and loves to shop and gossip. Not only was she violent, but she had temper as quick as Tamari's. Imi to Naruto equaled hot death. That was not the only thing. Imi was great ninja as expected from someone from the Saku clan. The Sakus is known for using flowers and plants and nature in general to kill, trick, and trap their opponent. The Saku clan was not to be underestimated, they were after all another founding clan of Whirlpool. Naruto remembered the first time he met Imi and heard she used flowers as her main techniques and weapons. He laughed in her face, and then she had a Venus flytrap on his ass, making her near death in seconds. Naruto trembled at the horrible thought and continued his walk with Toshiro to Yamasaki's place. Once they reached Koji's place they seen Koji sitting on his porch with Imi sitting in his lap and Kaiyo yelling at Koji to pay attention to the game of shogi they were playing. "Sup guys," said Naruto and Toshiro as they approached the three ninja. "Hey Yuzukage and Toshiro-san," the three responded. He's not the Yuzukage at the moment, he took the day off early and you know he hates being called Yuzukage by his friends, right Naruto, said Toshiro while putting his hand on Naruto's shoulder. "Yes, by my friends, but I don't remember you being one," joked Naruto pushing Toshiro's hand off his shoulder. "Oh come on, why so cold?" Toshiro pouted. Naruto laughed, "Just joking Toshiro, but anyway I came by to see if Kaiyo and Koji wanted to spar with me and Toshiro." Kaiyo put on a thoughtful face and said, "Not fair at all if Fujiwara and Uzumaki versus Meiho and Yamasaki. It should be more like Uzumaki and Meiho versus Fujiwara and Yamasaki. Are you saying that Naruto and I are too strong for you and Koji to handle?" "Kaiyo, my dear friend, a ninja should confident in his abilities and his friends," said Toshiro. Naruto sighed, "How about this? All three of you guys versus me." "I like it," said Kaiyo and Toshiro. "If you want to," said Koji. "Good, then it's settled. Let's go to my training grounds," said Naruto. "Are you forgetting something?" said Imi. The guys looked at Imi with confused faces. "What?" asked Naruto. Imi rolled her eyes and said, "I'm not going to be left out of the action like I don't matter or something." Nobody wanted to disagree so they all nodded along. "As long as it's not Naruto and Toshiro versus us three then I don't care," said Kaiyo. Naruto somewhat understood why Kaiyo said that. One reason was the Uzumakis are as popular as the Hyuga and Uchiha clan in the land Whirlpool. Also, besides their clan being the original founders of Whirlpool, Uzumakis are royalty and had a Kekkei Genkai. Taijutsu that most people outside Whirlpool didn't know about that was deadlier than the Byakugan and Sharingan. Plus their great ability in Taijutsu, Ninjutsu, Kinjutsu and ability to break Kinjutsu made them even more terrifying in battle. So fighting in Uzumaki was said to be sudden death. Then the Fujiwara clan, which Toshiro was from, was just below the Uzumakis. The Fujiwara clan was another founding clan of Whirlpool, and they had a Kekkei Genkai also in which they used poison from their bodies to kill the enemy. Toshiro could turn the poison on in his body at any time, making the veins in his neck bulge out like someone using the Byakugan, but with the Fujiwara's Kekkei Genkai, they could just blow winds of poison towards a person. It said if a person were to breathe it in they would die within minutes. Also, a kiss from a Fujiwara when they have their Kekkei Genkai in use is also deadly. Hell, any physical contact while they had their Kekkei Genkai in use was deadly. Not only that, Fujiwaras are great at Taijutsu and love to spar. The Fujiwaras would be even more deadly if they could control the poison for longer than 5 minutes. If they used it too long it started to affect them not as bad as their opponents, but it could make them drowsy, and Futen and Kaiten user could stop the effects of the poison. That's why Uzumaki and Fujiwara could be considered as a deadly duo. Even so Naruto felt it as one should not be judged based upon their clan status so he said, even if we did partner up Kaio, you should know that I unlike most Uzumakis, suck at Jinjutsu. Toshiro isn't that great against weapons or Kaiten users, so you and Koji would be perfect match up against us. Kaio chuckled, I forgot about that, but I heard you have been practicing with my clan to get better at breaking Jinjutsu, so you're not that dumb, but maybe we should team up just test our skills. Koji and Toshiro nodded agreeing, and the four started to walk away, but stopped when they felt a bad vibe behind them. They slowly turned around to a pissed off Emi. I told you guys I'm in this fight too. Why do you guys keep putting me out of the conversation and walking off like I'm not even here? Even you Kaji should choke you by the vines of my plants, yelled Emi. Koji quickly saved them from their pending doom by saying, sweetheart there was no need to add you into that nonsense of conversation that Kaio started because you're too important for that and you told me you hate being dragged around like a child so I figure you would follow us. I mean you do have 2 beautiful feet to walk on. Emi's anger was blown away as Koji threw on the charm. She grabbed Koji's arm pulling him ahead of the others, leading him to Naruto's special training grounds. Naruto shook his head, Koji never makes sense, but every time he opens his mouth Emi falls head over heels. I wouldn't be able to play a trick like that on my Hinata-chan. Io and Toshiro looked at Naruto with an, are you serious face? What? Asked Naruto as he noticed they were staring at him like he was dumb. Hinata is the same with you. If you tick her off which if I may add is rare because she loves everything you do. But if you do make her mad all you have to do is get her in your arms and whisper your bullshit dumbass words to her and she all nice to you again, said Toshiro. Io nodded his head in agreement. Naruto disagreed with them not believing their words until they got to Naruto's special training grounds. Upon reaching the training grounds Naruto explained the rules of their spar, if you go unconscious or get serious injured or any wind knocked out of you it's over. They all nodded liking this method and got into their receptive fighting stance. Naruto looked at Kaio and was trying to decide if he should get rid of him first. Begin, said Naruto starting the match. Naruto turned on his senses something Kyuubi gave him when left his body, so everything seemed to be going in slow motion when in reality everything was happening in seconds. Toshiro came straight at him while Koji reached for his kunai pouch to throw kunai at him and since it seemed really slow, Naruto was able to easy dodge both attacks. He noticed that Kaio and Emi wasn't attacking him and guessed they were coming up with some plan, so he decided to finish Toshiro and Koji before they had a chance to react. Toshiro who thought he found an opening, appeared next to Naruto with his foot high planning on kicking him and said, Naruto you should pay attention. Naruto smiled grabbing Toshiro's leg in midair, stopping his attack. Stunning Toshiro and then he punched Toshiro in his pretty boy face, sending him flying backwards. Toshiro wasn't done yet, but Naruto didn't have time to pay attention because dodging Koji's shuriken attacks was getting hard. So Naruto pulled out shuriken of his own and enhanced them with chakra throwing them towards Koji's shuriken, making them hit one another, shattering Koji's shuriken into pieces. In a matter of seconds, Naruto was in front of Koji who was also good in Taijutsu. So Koji threw a strong right accepting to lay Naruto flat. Instead Naruto was grazed by Koji's right fist and then Naruto kicked Koji in the stomach with enough force to send him sailing backwards into a tree, effectively knocking him unconscious. Naruto wanted to take out Emi next, but he found himself in an all-white world instead. He didn't panic because he knew he was in Jinjutsu, but the only problem was how he was supposed to get the hell out. His aunt and Kyuubi taught him how to break many hard Jinjutsus and lots of the easy ones, but still when facing a Jinjutsu master like Kaio, it was not an easy task. Naruto took a deep breath, enhancing his arms with chakra, don't know why just seems tight, performed a couple hand signs, slamming his hand on the white world and screaming, Kai. Nothing happened he still was in the all-white world. And what should I do, Naruto wondered out loud. He walked around the white world of blankness for a while trying to find something that could help him, but it was all white nothing else. The room was driving him crazy, damn, why couldn't he stick me in an all-black or orange room instead? Deciding to try again Naruto did the same thing, but this time he used demonic chakra that Kyuubi left in his body and said, Kai. That effectively broke the Jinjutsu, but just as Naruto was freed. Toshiro who was caught up in the moment used his poison ray on Naruto, blowing a strong gust of wind that contained poisonous gas. As the wind filled Naruto's nostrils he grabbed his stomach and coughed, then looked up at Toshiro, as if to say how could you? Naruto, shit Naruto I. Naruto cut Toshiro off by quickly blinking in front of him and punching Toshiro in his gut, making him lean over on his fist. Before Toshiro passed out, Naruto whispered with a smirk on his face, "Toshiro, don't underestimate me, I am the Uzukage after all." While this was happening, Kaio was fighting Naruto and taking the hits he received pretty well. Kaio, knowing that Naruto punches had to hurt at least a little bit, wonder why Naruto's punches weren't hurting him. Then it hit him, how could he be so stupid? He was supposed to be a Jinjutsu master and Naruto was using Jinjutsu on him. "Hi," Kaio said, breaking the Jinjutsu in time to receive a chop in the back of the neck by the real Naruto, knocking him unconscious. Imi was the only one left now. Naruto had left its shadow clone to distract her, so he sat from a distance so she didn't notice him and watch her battle his clone. Imi was able to get some room from Naruto's clone and breathing hard, she pulled a flower from her black hair, pulling off one of the petals, saying, "Wither and grow." His clone ran towards her, but all of a sudden vines shot up from the ground out of nowhere, grabbing Naruto's clone's feet and arms, successful catching him. The real Naruto got up from his hiding spot and in a flash was behind Imi and in a low voice he said, "Good job Imi, but I must say you should know I'm not that easy to capture." Imi looked at the Naruto she had caught and when it poof out existence she knew she had lost. Naruto finished the job, tapping Imi hard enough to knock her out and then he caught her in his arm, laying her down softly on the ground. "I see you enjoy sparring with your friends who nowhere near as strong as you," said a deep foxy voice approaching Naruto from behind. "Kyuubi, aren't you supposed to be busy? What are you doing here?" asked Naruto, immediately recognizing who it was without turning around. Kyuubi sighed drastically, "Don't you hate when brats named Naruto are so rude to you that they just jump you with questions instead of making small talk? Well, responding to what you said earlier, even if they are not strong as me it's good practice for them and I'm sure they enjoy sparring with me. Now would you answer my questions, you perverted fox?" "Name calling is not nice, Uzukage, and I'm only here in your almighty presence because a few seekers who were traveling from the Suna Konoha area on their way back to Yuzu sent me a scroll saying that they seen Konoha ninja coming this way. I thought I report that to you." Naruto crossed his arms, saying to himself out loud, could Konoha have really agreed to let us be taken out of the bingo book that fast, or is this an setup? "I could have my seekers watch over them if you like," said Kyuubi. Naruto gave Kyuubi a lazy glare. "Kyuubi, I know your seekers. They would rip them apart if they think one of them takes a piss the wrong way. They are maniacs and perverts just like you." Kyuubi laughed as if that was hysterical. "That's the great part about it, kid, but since you don't want my seekers to watch them, at least let me alert my seekers who will be in Yuzu to be on the watch for Konoha ninjas." Naruto nodded, "Thank you, Kyuubi. Don't mention it. We'll see you, kid," Kyuubi said as he disappeared in the wind. Naruto looked back at his friends and then groaned. He should have least asked Kyuubi to help him carry them home. Oh well, he thought to himself, he always can make clones. Naruto made 4 clones and had them pick up his friends so he could carry them all back to their respective homes. After his clones went their separate ways to drop off his friends, Naruto went home since it was getting late and most likely Hinata would be home. Naruto walked into his house and threw his ninja sandals near the door, then walked back where his bedroom was located. Entering his bedroom, he heard the shower running. Naruto took off his clothes and walked to the bathroom connected to his bedroom and stepped to the shower door, opening it and stepping in. Wrapping his arms around beautiful milky white skin. "I see you're home and you brought a friend," said Hinata in a seductive voice. Naruto smirked, "Yes, and he really wants to play with you, Hinata-chan, do you think you can play with him?" Hinata leaned into Naruto's arms, feeling his erection press against her soft yet firm ass. A low moan escaped Hinata's lips and then she said, "I'd love to play with him, Naruto-kun, but first how about I wash you up?" Naruto let go of Hinata so she could grab the soap bar. She begins washing his neck first and then his arms, paying attention to every line and every crease in his muscles. She was slowly memorizing his body like it was her own. Then she got to his solider who was standing at full attention. Dropping the soap bar, she begins to massage his erection in her hand. Naruto threw his head back and cursed Hinata and her skillful hands. Not wanting to lose to his wife, he decided he had to quickly take control. He grabbed Hinata by her waist and picked her up by her waist, startling her a bit. Looking at her with lustful eyes, he said, "You're trying to kill me, aren't you, woman?" Hinata loved it when Naruto looked at her with an erotic gaze. It turned her on so much she turned off the shower water and grabbing her husband's hand, she pulled him out the shower into the bedroom. Letting go of his hand, she seductively walked over towards their bed, making sure to be in front of him so he could see her ass bounce. Naruto growled. His wife loved to tease him. He walked over towards the bed, following her and then gently push her down on bed before crawling on top of her and looking in her lavender eyes. "Woman, I should punish you for teasing me like that. Now tell me, how do you want it, hard and fast or soft and slow?" Hinata shiver with excitement. "Hard and fast," she commands him. "Okay, but I don't want to hear you pleading with me to stop," warned Naruto. "When have I been known to tell you that?" asked Hinata. Naruto laughed and leaned down, kissing her, starting an eager and aggressive kiss. It was like they could not get enough of one another. Naruto's tongue ravished each part of her mouth, only breaking the kiss for air. Staring in each other's eyes one more time, Naruto positioned himself near the caves of Hinata's nether regions, and with a thrust he entered, making her moan his name loudly. He didn't let up. He drove his hips in a back and forward motion. Fast and hard, never letting up on the pounding he was giving, never letting Hinata get the chance to catch her breath. Hinata struggled to put together coherent syllables, all she could do is grunt and moan Naruto's name as she grabbed his golden mane and felt him pump harder into her. She could barely keep up with his movements. Even so, she was in pure ecstasy. Hinata's eyes rolled to the back of her head as Naruto hit her magic spot. Sweat poured off Naruto's body as he tried to stop from losing himself. "Oh my god, fuck my cuming," Hinata screamed as she came hard, making Naruto come as well. He collapsed on top of Hinata, then rolled over to his side of the bed. With all the strength she had left, Hinata wrapped her arms around Naruto's waist and laid her head on his chest. "I love you, Naruto-kun, also dinner's in the microwave," she whispered. Naruto kissed Hinata on the forehead. "I love you to Hinata-chan." Sleep overcame Hinata and he smiled, then sneaking out of her grasp and putting on some boxers he walked into their kitchen and headed straight for the microwave. Opening the microwave, Naruto was greeted by a nice aroma of tonkatsu and takoyaki. Naruto very much enjoyed these foods and when cooked by Hinata it was better than ramen. He quickly finished the meals and started to feel tired himself and walked back to his bedroom, joining his wife in sleep. 2 days later. After 2 days, the 7 ninja finally arrived at Yuzu again. This time they didn't disguise themselves and was met at the gates by 2 ninja. "Berserker, do you think those are the Konoha ninja Kyuubi-sama told us about?" asked the other ninja. Berserker, a woman with brown hair, looked at her sliver blue hair friend. "I think so, Jin." Berserker then walked up to the Konoha ninjas followed by Jin. "You guys are a pretty hot bunch anyways, I'm going to have to ask you guys to follow me." Jin nodded. "Yes, we will show you ladies to the Yuzukage's office." Shikamaru, Kiba, and Kakashi looked at Jin. "Oh my bad, and gentlemen, right this way," Jin said, correcting himself though he was smiling, showing it was no mistake. Kiba was tempted to smack the smirk off this guy's face but ignored him and kept Akamaru close. The other ninjas got a weird feeling from the 2 ninja but didn't question them. As they neared the same tower as last time the Leaf Ninja had came here, they relaxed a little bit. They all entered the tower and the woman named Mazurka walked up to a white hair man with green eyes and asked, "Yo little brother, is the Yuzukage busy?" The young man glared at the woman. "Mazurka, stop calling me that at work. I'm the Yuzukage assistant after all, and the Yuzukage left a little while ago, he went to visit Shinta." Mazurka laughed. "Little Toshiro, don't get so up. Wait, if Yuzukage not here, what am I supposed to do with these Konoha nin? I don't want to babysit all day, I'm a member seekers, for crying out loud." Toshiro shrugged. "How about you go find the Yuzukage yourself? I told you he went to visit Shinta." "You're a lot of help," said Jin. "I know, I try so hard," said Toshiro. Jin rolled his eyes, obviously annoyed. "Come on Konoha nin, we have to go see if we can find the Yuzukage." "Sigh, I could be killing idiots, why do I have to babysit?" "Here, here," said Mazurka as she walked out the Yuzukage's office with a Leaf Ninja following behind her. "So what is your job, if you don't mind me asking?" asked Kakashi after a few minutes of walking in silence. Mazurka looked at Jin and when he shrugged she looked back at Kakashi. "I'm on the interrogation and torture squad Aka Seekers. Actually, I am one of the elite, so I guess you can say I am one of the 10 elite interrogation and torture squad members." Anko was now interested, anything that had to do with torture and interrogation was her thing. "What does Seekers stand for?" asked Anko. Jin answered this time. "Seekers means super, hero, killer elite, Reaper squad." "Nani?" said all the Leaf Ninja. Berserker laughed, causing the ninja to think Jin was just joking. "We are the super hero killer elite Reaper squad," Jin said again. Hanabi searched their face for any sign of joking but seen none and couldn't believe Yuzu had such a thing. Sakura then asked, "Who guys gave you that name?" Sakura really wonder if Naruto would do such a thing. "Kyuubi-sama, of course," said Mazurka proudly. Kurenai rolled her eyes, she knew the fox was a pervert but stupid, she would have never guessed. "Good thing we didn't have to go far," said Jin as they walked towards a big building that read Yuzu Hospital. It was twice the size as Konoha's hospital building and 3 times better looking. "Why are we here?" asked Kiba. Jin rolled his eyes and just walked around the back of building where Koi Pound was. There also was a neat little garden and 2 benches. Naruto was sitting on one talking to some guy who sat next to him. While Hinata and some lady talked near the garden. "Beautiful," muttered all 4 of Leaf women staring at the garden and Koi Pound design as a maze. "Yuzukage, I sorry to interrupt you, but it seems you have some visitors," said Jin before giving a soft bow towards Naruto. Naruto stood and looked at the Konoha ninja and said, "You're back so soon," then he turned to the man, "Shinta, it was nice talking to you." The man nodded and Naruto walked over to Hinata and the other women. "Nice talking to you too, Catty." He then leaned over and kissed Hinata on her forehead. "Bye sweetheart." "See you love," Hinata said as Naruto began to walk off with the leaf nin in tow. "Yuzukage, if we may, we will be departing now," said Jin. Naruto nodded. "You may leave." The two ninja quickly disappeared. Naruto walked into the Yuzukage office but lead Konoha ninja to the council room. Naruto sat at the end of the round table in the middle of the room and told the leaf ninja to sit. "So tell me what the Hokage has come up for me," said Naruto. Kakashi nodded and handed Naruto a scroll before saying, "That scroll is agreement saying we won't attack any of your ninjas or you when you come to Konoha, as long as you can keep up with your deal." Naruto looked at the scroll as Kakashi talked. "We took all your ninjas out of your bingo book and we agree to all your terms. The Hokage has sent us to escort you and your council members and daimyo to Konoha safely." Naruto looked at the scroll. It said everything he wanted it to say, so he said, "We will set out in 2 hours. Until then feel free to walk around. I will have one of my ninjas send for you when we are ready to leave." "Yuzukage, you want to leave today?" "We kind of just got here," said Shikamaru, not only that they were tired. "Don't worry, we will camp out just a few miles from here," said Naruto. They sighed. Kakashi then said, "So we will be leaving in 2 hours." Naruto nodded and the leaf ninja got up, walked out the council room. As soon the leaf ninja left, Naruto said, "Kyuubi, can you get all council members in here and the daimyo?" Kyuubi jumped in from the windowsill that he was sitting on. "Sure thing, kid, but if we are going to Konoha, who going to watch the village?" "I got a plan, and will you not sneak up on me next time," said Naruto. Kyuubi didn't answer, he just laughed. Minutes later, Kyuubi was back with all of the council members including the daimyo. They all sat down at the table. "Yuzukage, may I ask what you call us for?" asked one of council members. "Yes, I called you here to discuss this." He passed the scroll around. After everyone read it, he said, "I want everyone to pick someone, or you yourself can represent your clan during the meeting at Konoha as council, and I will have 2 seekers come along with us. Kitsuro will act as cage while I am gone with the other seekers and watchers at his disposal. I will also bring 3 of my most trusted watchers with me. Anyway, I would like all of you to send a representative from each of your clans at the south gate in 30 minutes, otherwise you're dismissed," said Naruto. The councilmen and women got up and left, leaving Naruto alone. Sighing, Naruto got up and shunshed to his house and then pack up a few things, and about 10 seconds later he was met by his lovely wife. "I can't believe we are actually going back there," said Hinata as she packed her things also. Naruto looked at his wife. "I promise I won't let anyone hurt you." She looked at Naruto. "I know that, but I think we should get going." Naruto nodded and grabbing his wife things and throwing it in a scroll of his. He then grabbed by her waist, startling her and shunshed them to the gate. 8. The leaf ninja had been contacted by one of Naruto's ninja and were waiting at the gate with Kyuubi and 2 his seekers, Jin and Mazurka, Lola and her eyes and ears plus Ryu, Toshiro, Kaio, Emi, Koji, Kati, Shinta, and 2 ninja from Hinata's watchers, a dragon mask ninja and wolf mask ninja. They were all waiting for Hinata and the Yuzukage himself, although they were only 10 seconds late at the moment. Just at that moment, Naruto and Hinata appeared in whirlpool of water. "Nephew, what was taking you 2 so long?" asked Lola in a whiny voice, trying to purposely annoy Naruto. "Shut up will you and let's go," said Naruto. Lola only smirked, grabbing hold of Ryu, whispering something in his ear, making him blush before jumping into the trees, jumping from tree to tree. Naruto and the others follow her after her, yet it was weird because the Konoha ninjas who were here to escort the Yuzu ninja were not leading at all. Kakashi, who was next to Ryu, decided to make conversation. "Been a while, Ryu." Ryu looked over towards Kakashi for a quick second. "Yes, it has, Kakashi. I see Lol is making good use of you." "So you're dating?" asked Kakashi. Ryu shook his head. "We're not dating, Kakashi." "Yet you like her," pushed Kakashi. "She is the daimyo," said Ryu. "Is that the only thing stopping you from making your move, or is your shyness getting the best of you?" asked Kakashi. Ryu turned to glare at Kakashi before saying, "Even if I did tell her how much I love her, you have to understand, if we had a family I would have nothing to give my family. So for me it's perfect like this." Kakashi, unfazed by his old friend's glare, said, "Is it really?" Ryu just ignored Kakashi and sped up. Lola pretended as if she couldn't hear what the 2 men had just said, but even if they were whispering and being far ahead of them, she heard them clearly. She after all was in Uzumaki and they had special hearing, so she heard every word the 2 men said. She was somewhat hurt that Ryu was happy with them not every becoming more than friends. She couldn't understand why he felt that he would have nothing to offer to their family. For first time she actually didn't understand and just wanted to cry. Deciding it is best to take a break so she could sleep and think about what Ryu said, she called back behind her, "Yuzukage, do you mind if we camp out now?" Naruto knew Lola heard every word of Kakashi and Ryu's talk because he heard it himself and thought it was strange that she wasn't hopping all over him now that he admitted he loved her and guessed she needed time to think, and since the Konohinin were tired even though he didn't really care, he replied back, "Let's set up camp, the daimyo is tired." Everyone quickly scattered about and somehow it ended up with Konoha Ninja, Toshiro, Kaio, Imi, Koji, Kadi, Shinta, Hinata and Naruto sitting around campfire in silence. Naruto's crazy auntie decided to hit the haystack early, her eyes and ears plus Ryu quietly stood by her tent far away from the campfire. Hinata's watchers were keeping a lookout for anything usual and Kyuubi and his seekers went off somewhere. "So any of you ladies single?" Toshiro asked, breaking the quiet silence that lingered in the air. "No," they all answered in unison. Toshiro began to put his head down in defeat and Naruto laughed. "Yuzukage, has anyone ever told you it's not nice to laugh at you, assistant?" Toshiro said. "Nope, they haven't, and it's funny you say that because many people often tell me to laugh at my assistant and that my assistant is a lazy bum," Naruto replied. "I am not," pouted Toshiro. Hinata laughed at this and said, "So I never got to ask last time, but how is Niji doing?" "Well, right now he is one of the Konoha ninjas Tsunade sent out to fight in war," said Kakashi. Many people from the old Rookie 9 and Guy's team were sent out to help you guys hold up in war?" asked Naruto. "All of Guy's team including Guy and Shino, Choji and Ino all were sent out," said Kakashi. Hinata put on thoughtful face, "You guys must really be in a pinch then." "Yes we are, that's why we really need your guys' help," said Shikamaru. Changing the conversation, Kakashi asked, "So how does it feel to be the Yuzukage?" "Stressful, tiring, hard work and crazy," Naruto said. "What?" said Kiba. "That's how it feels to be the Yuzukage, and I think I speak for all cages when I say that's how it feels to be a cage," Naruto said with a smile. "So I'm confused, you don't like being Yuzukage?" asked Hanabi. Naruto chuckled, "No, I love being Yuzukage because everything fun, exciting and new is always hard work, crazy, stressful and tiring." "I see, so it's a bittersweet job," said Kurenai. "Exactly," Naruto responded. "But I make up for all the bad parts, right Yuzukage?" asked Toshiro. "You most likely make it worse," said Imi. "Why do you always have to be mean to me?" pouted Toshiro. "Because you're an idiot," said Kadi. "Agreed," said Shinta, Kaio and Koji. "Jerks," said Toshiro as he turned away from the group. "Danzo, what are we going to do about the nine-tailed brat?" asked one of his ninjas. "What do you mean?" he asked. "Well, you heard the Hokage, the nine-tailed brat is coming here to kill you," the ninja spoke again. Danzo had known something was up. The minute Kaharu was called by one of the Hokage's ninja. He decided to play dumb, but after masking his presence he followed Kaharu and the ninja into the council room and heard every word of the Hokage plan. Danzo smiled, "I know, and what a better thing to do than let the nine-tailed brat kill me." The ninja he was talking to looked stunned. "What? Stop questioning me, I must prepare for my death and funeral," Danzo said. What if Naruto becomes Daimyo of Whirlpool? End here and thanks for watching my video till the end.